What's going on, YouTube world? Lamp, Steve, and Vinny. Insert Revolution podcast. I believe 117 is our episode number tonight. And we're going to be talking about always a hot button topic because it's a personal opinion topic. And it's not collecting cards. It's almost as good as either religion or politics. So, I mean, if it's the third one, it's the YouTube Hall of Fame voting. And I like this year.
Our first nominee is Door.
Yeah.
Oh.
Door's coming out of the woodwork.
He'd get more votes than I would.
I couldn't miss the opportunity. Sorry.
This dog, he is in a last 2 weeks. I've been downstairs since 6 this morning, and he is a bear tonight.
What's up, Yannick? I like sort of the condensed time frame this year. Getting to that right away. I like it's 2 weeks. I don't mind the month, but you want to sort of have it on everybody's mind and not move on, but get it done with and sort of get the votes so everybody's thinking about something at the same time. So I do like that. We'll talk later about sort of our preferences, what we expect to happen, which again, the unexpected. Scott Rowland got in the Hall of Fame today, and I didn't think that was ever going to come. So we'll go through that. May have some special guests on or bring some validity to the show, not these us chuds that are here. So I'll speak for myself, I suppose.
Well, we do have a guest standing by, Dave. Or have you already forgotten?
Do we?
Yes, we do. Should we bring him on?
We may as well bring him on.
Any guesses? Ty, shut up. Don't say anything. Anybody want to guess who we have? Anybody want to guess? You're too slow.
Yeah.
We welcome Snoop to the show.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome.
The debut of Snoop on the IRP.
And you decided to go for the Washington hat anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to. It just covers the little gray patch right there.
Is it because I went ahead and put on my hat? Because everybody's used to the hat. I've gotten called out on multiple occasions for not wearing the hat. So I figured I'd just save face and go ahead and put the hat on. So,
but yeah, I mean, you put your hat on, so I had to put my hat on. We had to make Dave stand out, because he doesn't have one, this hat.
Yeah.
But why? Like Dave needs to stand out any more than what he already does.
That's true. See, there he goes.
I don't even know where it's. I got my winter hat somewhere, but it usually just comes flying off when I come in the door because it's. Trying to wear it with this beautiful mane of tangled.
I just read Daniel's comment.
Snoop is probably going to try and keep it a little clean, but he's already been told there is nothing off limits. Okay, yeah. So there's two things off limits: religion and politics. Outside of that, nothing is off limits.
Yeah.
All right.
Outside of that, whatever. If you want to go on a curse-induced tirade, by all means, feel free to do so.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. I think I'm going to petition. Why am I having a brain fart now? Because I keep wanting to call him the ticket leprechaun, Jake. That he
Legends
should
never die.
Yeah, that he should make that rant video the rant of the decade. Because I'm still waiting for someone to top it.
I don't think it's going to happen. And speaking of Aaron, since I inadvertently called Snoop Aaron, what's going on, Aaron? Unintentional. I was calling him by his name all the way up to right before we were about to go live. And we have another guest that is waiting in the waiting room. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready there, sir. We'd like to welcome another infamous character, Hitman 23.
Oh, Hitman.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
All right.
What's going on, Mike?
Fantastic.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. How's everybody doing?
Fantastic for a Tuesday.
Yeah, that is very true. It's an honor to be here.
Well, it's good to have you here. It's good to have you here. Dave has a tendency to not fill us in with anything. And the only reason why we found out about Snoop is because, well, I'll let Vinny tell his story. By the way, Vinny, Hitman, Vinny.
What is up, sir? How you doing?
How you doing?
By the way,
Doing good, man.
I'm Steven, Bronco 79. Been doing it as long as Dave has, but Dave is more infamous than me.
Rock on.
Steve, tell your story. I gotta go get the dog. I'll be right back.
Okay, no door. We're not doing door tonight. So I found out we were going to have Snoop on the show because Ty messaged me on Instagram. And I'm like, huh?
Exactly.
So what did I do? I go text Dave. I'm like, Snoop on the show
I
tomorrow?
always say that to people. You know, like if
And
someone,
he goes, yeah.
oh, I understand.
It's like, oh, thanks for warning me. No offense, Snoop. No offense. He's like, he must have mentioned something on one of his videos. And I'm like, did Snoop post a video today? So I'm like, I get really bad at staying on top of videos. And I'll be the first one to admit it. I watch
It's
a
hard
lot of
sometimes.
videos.
It's hard.
I,
It's hard.
yeah, I watch a lot of videos. I quit commenting all the time because between you, me, and the fence post, I like to be a little bit more creative with my responses so you actually know that I watched it instead of,
Right.
hey, great mail day, nice cards.
Right.
No, I'd like to be specific. And I feel like I start getting redundant. So I don't comment a whole lot anymore, which is probably a detriment. But anyways, I was like, did Snoop post a video? And I'm like, crap, did I miss it? So of course I go look and I'm like, oh, package from Aaron Davis. Why would he mention anything about the IRP? I'm like, okay, no, I got to watch this. So I sat and I watched it. I was like, okay, well, that explains why Ty knew that Snoop was going to be on the show. And by the time I was said and done, I wasn't quite shaking Snoop, but I was like, wow, that's how I felt. If anybody wants a feel good moment, and normally I don't prop up our show. I do in my videos. I do, I do pimp us out a little bit because we're trying to get more people to come and hang out. But watch the Christmas episode. Watch this past year's Christmas episode. Holy shit. The amount of love that was displayed was like through the roof. It was crazy. So,
yeah.
But anyways, what's going on, Lou Rock?
Lou Rock, what's up, my man?
So Vinny, our good friend Vinny, ended up hearing also through somebody else instead of Dave. Thanks, Dave.
So the good doctor texted me this morning. I saw that Snoop announced he'll be on the IRP tonight. I'm like, well, but he announced it on his video yesterday. And are you dusting off the soapbox? The soapbox is already it's always ready to extend. So.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just a collector like you guys are. That's all. Just get right passionate about it sometimes.
Well, but that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
It's the passion. I've said this. Let's just jump into the subject. Just which is unusual for us because typically we like BS for the first 30 minutes and then talk about. But since we have guests, and Dave, I'm sure you've prepared some stuff, but my biggest issue that I have currently in the current YouTube dynamic, for me personally, I'm a football guy. I've been a football guy for a long time. Back in the day, there was a shit ton of football guys. Not that I have anything against baseball collectors or basketball collectors or anything along those lines. I love the game of baseball. I can only watch so much baseball content. I'm sorry. I'm not, it's no disrespect to all the guys that have put forth the effort and have curated fantastic collections. I do watch some of it because, let's face it, some of the guys out there blow my mind as it pertains to some of the stuff that's out, especially on the vintage side. I've never been a vintage guy. Much love and appreciation for it, but it's not my cup of tea. But it amazes me, and the depth of knowledge on top of it. But I'm a football guy. I like to watch football cards. I like to see people adding football cards. And like I said, not that I don't watch them, but there's so much that I'm very selective. I pick and choose. I can't watch everybody's stuff when it comes to baseball. And that's me personally. Anybody else? Snoop, I know you're mostly a baseball guy. You do some football. Hitman, you do mostly baseball, if I'm not mistaken. You can slap me if you want to. That's fine.
No, it's totally. I do my Redskins. You know, I have my love for my Redskins, and I do some of that sometimes. But no, dude, you're cool.
Yeah. You know, I'm primarily baseball, but I mean, I've branched now into some boxing and
which is cool.
My football team is the Giants. So sorry, Hitman, they're the best.
That's all right, man.
but you
still
know,
love you, man. Still love you.
You know, I'm starting to branch into football more because now I'm starting to collect the top 100 of the NFL according to the NFL. And Aaron convinced me, hey, you need to start this. And I'm like, I don't want to start it. I'm already in baseball, whatever. And, you know, we got to talking and reminiscing about, you know, growing up watching Jerry Rice play, watching LT play, watching, you know, I remember when the fridge from the Bears scored the touchdown.
Yes.
You know, just all these legendary players. And he's like, man, just pick up a card of them. It's not that hard. So I picked up one card, then it was two, then it was three. Next thing you know, now I'm knee deep and I'm learning about all these other guys. I got two of the cards right here. One is Night Train Lane rookie.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I'm reading up. I wasn't around to see him play, but I'm reading up on all these legends and I'm having just as much fun. You know, it's the history, the sport. So I'm just having a blast. I understand. I do watch some football collectors, but I do skew a little more to baseball.
Yeah, I don't care.
But that's just me, though.
Well, of course, Vinny has no room to talk. He's a hockey guy, so we won't even let him talk. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Thank you.
So I
And that's
So
that's sort of the thing with that.
went out Thursday
You
night
look back,
and Saturday night, and then he asked if he can come
like
Sunday.
Steve said, we had
He's like,
I bet close to 90%,
I'm like, no.
80 to 90% back in 2011, 2010 were mainly football guys. You had I like the Red Sox or whatever. That guy would pick up a Red Sox card. P. Daz would go for Yankees guys.
Falls lot.
Jason and Z, Elon, the Pistons fan, they would go for the Nationals players.
I had a lot going on.
But you didn't have the depth. I mean, Drew left the NDV
He's not
He'll
thinking.
go for the Braves. Partly cloudy. He came on a little later. He'd go for the Braves. Steve, Purple GT, go for the Braves. But you didn't have. It was still more football centric. And somewhere along the way, it like completely
I know.
Flip flop, yeah.
180, and it's just like, oh my god. Where I'm with Steve. I like learning to a point about the old baseball. If it's done right, and I can't listen the whole time, like every video telling me about something. It's cool because I like in my like lane of traffic, learning about that stuff like the '90s inserts. Well, what the hell is this out of? It was like the '92 rookie sensations out of the Fleer jumbo packs. You could only get them out of that. So if there's something centric to a pack out, that really interests me because I'm like, where were these available? Because I was collecting like a nut then, and I never saw them. So if you're talking about tobacco card or something like the Hannes Wagner was pulled because he hated tobacco, and that's why it makes it so desirable because it wasn't supposed to be. That's something that you want to dip into and like, why is that? Why is that valuable? Not just because some stupid influencer says, "Oh, I love this card." No, it's my favorite card. No, there's got to be something other than fucking some dipshit talking about it's a great card that makes it worth something. And if that's the only reason why, then
It's too much.
follow him off the fucking ridge because that's all we need. We need that drop in population. But when you have some of these folks that have that knowledge, it's fun to listen to. It's fun.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But you can't. I just can't go constantly and listen. Like Steve, there's only so many hours in the day. If nothing else, I'll throw it a thumbs up, and that's my contribution to it. I'll listen for a few minutes, and I'm good. Because if it doesn't really suck me in like quicksand, I gotta get out. That's the kiddie pool for me. I liked it, but I gotta go jump out and enjoy some football, enjoy some like niche stuff. The food issue once in a while. I like to see how the hell did Kellogg's get this card in there? Hockey.
Well
like
played,
Snoop,
Vinny. Well played.
Snoop with the now the boxing, wrestling. I love the wrestling stuff. It's just when you have that breadth of knowledge, but then you can expand it and start, like you said, start going with the NFL stuff. It constantly makes the hobby fresh. You don't get fucking burnt out. You don't get tired. It's not like if I did just Josh Johnson, you wouldn't even see me on here. I'd be fucking done. I'm like, think of how much fucking money I wasted. I love the collection. I love the guy. I love where it's at. I wouldn't change anything except him staying fucking healthy. That would be the one thing.
Well, hey, I got a Ron Zimmerman collection, so we're in about the same boat.
Oh, it's brutal. I've got five 2-row gradeds that are single. Like I finally did that. That was one huge goal I did. Is went through my 6 4-row and then 2-row gradeds of Josh Johnson. Took out 1 card of each. So now eventually I'll fiddle with that list and try to figure something out. But it's like I want to learn, and I don't want to sit there and get burnt out because even inserts, sometimes it's like, well, man, I just want to look at some gaming shit. I'll go back and like the Night Train Lane. I'll look at that shit. I'll look at the Jimmy Browns. I'll look at Lenny Moore's. I'll look at stuff I just want to dip out of what I'm normally doing, go back to something else I love doing, or try something else I want to do because it's like, okay, we're adults now. Not saying our discretionary funds are unlimited. But at the same time, you go back 20, 25, 30 years, we didn't have pockets like we did now. And there wasn't availability like there is now. So you just sit there and like, you know what? I want to start doing some jersey stuff. I remember that as a kid, the East Bay magazine. You get that fucker in the mail and it'd just be like Christmas. That's your JCPenney Christmas magazine. So diverting from what Steve said, shockingly,
no, that never happens, Dave. Ever.
Especially with me.
Ever.
I just like the fact that some of the football guys, I know Bart last year got in, and I'm hoping Brad gets in. That's the guy. That motherfucker's got more knowledge than anyone when it comes to football. So I wish
I
should have
think this
been.
is his year, Dave. I think this is his year because quite a few that I've watched outside of my normal realm, because I really do my best to try and watch all the nominations for channels that I'm subscribed to, because I am interested. Because the one great thing that has truly come out of the Hall of Fame is I have come across other channels. Some of them, yes, a lot of baseball. I already said my piece when it comes to that. But I've come across a lot of other channels that I will watch. I'm like Dave. You'll get a thumbs up. You probably won't get a comment, but I do watch. I do watch.
And see,
and
I can't comment on the videos that I watch because I watch at work, and I can watch them. I can't comment if they see me typing something. Oh, I can't type any kind of comment. So I might be working 12 hours that night or 10 hours. I'll probably watch 35, 40 videos or a few long videos, and then I'll watch 2 videos on the way home. I can't comment on everybody's video, but I'll talk to a few friends and they're like, "Oh, did you see my video?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I liked it when you pull this and was talking about this." And then you didn't comment. Well, I can't comment.
Speaking of Brad, did you plan this, Dave? Brad, were your ears burning? Nobody can see you yet, but were your ears burning? I know you hear me. We can't hear you. I know you hear us, but I can't hear you. But I was just curious because we were just talking about you. And lo and behold, we now have Brad.
Hey,
there he is.
No, I just saw the text from Dave, and I don't have to work tomorrow, so I can stay up a little later tonight. So.
Even better. Even better. So everybody on this panel outside of Brad, everybody feel that this is Brad's year? Yes?
Getting a lot of votes, brother.
I think everybody is in agreement that this should be Brad's year. This should be Brad's year.
Should have been last year.
That whole first column over there should be both of their years, honestly.
Yeah, so that was the one that.
Yes, unfortunately, Dave doesn't get near the love as well he should. Because, like I said, you love to hate him or you hate to love him, and not everybody truly appreciates what Dave actually is. And if you just accept the fact that, bottom line is, Dave is going to give his opinion, no matter if you want it or not, and you don't have to agree. You can disagree. But if Dave has an opinion, he's going to speak his mind, whether you like it or not. And to be brutally honest, that's the most honest trait of Dave's that I can appreciate, is the fact that everybody thinks that Dave and I agree on everything. If you watch past episodes, we do agree on a lot of stuff. But there's a lot of things in which it's like, Dave, are you smoking crack? What are you thinking?
Well, it's boring if you agree on everything. It's boring if you agree on everything, and then it's there's no interest in that. It's best when you have disagreements and explain them.
Absolutely,
definitely.
That's the thing. That fosters good discussion. Somebody in the comments might bring something up you're not really thinking of because you're right in your zone of, hey, I'm getting what I think, and then
exactly.
Too. So it's.
Well, this year I really watched a lot of the nomination videos, and they always say it's clicks on YouTube. There's certain little groups that always hang together, and it is to an extent. But what I've really noticed, those that there's a few people that have done their nominations, and they have auctions every now and then, and they will rip open cards and stuff. Most of their nominations are breakers. And okay, that's cool. That's the circle that they run in. Mm-hmm. Then you have guys like me. I'm a collector. I've never sold a card. I've given away cards. I've never sold one. Well, most of us collectors, we watch collector videos, so we're nominating different collectors.
Right.
And the guys that do TTM and autographs, well, they're normally nominating the TTM and autograph crowd. It's a whole mix, but every now and then you get to find new channels out. And I love that aspect of it because I love finding new channels that I can subscribe to and then click the little bell icon, and I'm glued to everything that they're showing.
Mm-hmm. That's been the obviously the best part of it.
Yeah,
you're gonna have and when somebody says, and this is to anybody that's ever voted, it's like, well, they're voting for their friends. It's not like a baseball ballot. It's not like a football ballot. There isn't somebody that says, okay, these YouTubers who, let's say this qualification is you've had to make a video in the last year, the ones that are still active. Here's your list of people that are active for the whatever, the Hall of Fame. What's going on, John? And would that be easier to do? Possibly. But in the same sense, it sort of takes away the fun of it.
Right.
that for a lot of us, it's like, well, fuck, that's a lot of the fun we have. Because again, jobs, kids, bills,
right.
stressors. This is supposed to be fucking fun. I've always said I hate that it's a dick measuring contest with a lot of people. I don't give a shit about your bank account. I care about your collection. I don't need to know how much you spent. I don't give a fuck. If that makes you feel better about yourself and you say I spent like 10 grand on a card, congratulations. Give yourself the Barry Horowitz pat on the back. I don't care. but when that constantly becomes something that's always talked about, then that becomes the problem. And those people, again, the huge channels, the ones that are the Jabs, the Packer fan, whatever, the Pac-Man, stupid sports card investor, those people, when you sit there and say, out of one side of your mouth, it's about the community, and the other side, you're saying it's about views, production value, subscribers. You can't fucking have both.
Right.
When you talk about that kind of viewership. Well,
I mean, to be honest, I've looked at a way a lot of these channels blew up. I could easily, next time I go to CSA show and make the video titled nice clickbait, almost blew 50,000 in cards, and then hold a few cards up and have the blowjob face in the thumbnail like this.
Yeah.
And then everybody's going to want to watch, or get a box of something that I'm probably not going to open, like some Bowman, whatever the hell it is $23,000 a box now for it that just came out. Bowman Transcendent. And
okay.
and do something about going to open 23K box of cards or something. That's like all people want to see, people opening cards. And I very rarely watch a break video, because I've watched some and watched them go nuts because they pulled, let's say, a Ruth autograph cut, and they're going nuts. It's a Ruth autograph. It's a Ruth. You know what? It ain't your damn card. Put that shit in the envelope and send it to the guy who won it. Let him jump around for it.
Yep.
If it's my card and you're jumping around that, you know what? You better not ding it. Or it's going to be a misunderstanding that evening.
Is that what we're going to go with, Snoop? A misunderstanding? I think we need to call it what it really is. That would be called an ass whooping.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm trying to break you in. I'm trying to get you riled up a little bit. Can't you tell? I'm trying.
Yeah.
Good job, Steve. Good job.
But in all seriousness, I want to go back to something that Dave said. And I think we need to circle back to Scotty's comment as well here in a minute. I'm going to leave that up for a little bit. Dave mentioning that a lot of people vote for their friends. And to a degree, that's not completely wrong. However, the thing about it is that we become friends through YouTube. So just because you vote for your friend doesn't mean that the channel is less worthy per se. Because let's face it, Snoop, you and Aaron, best of friends. You did that through YouTube and card collecting and conversing and having conversation.
Yeah.
Dave and I are best of friends. Vinny and I are best of friends. Yes, cards brought us together, and that's always been the premise of our show. Yes, collecting cards, it's great. And Dave closes every show with it.
I don't know.
Collecting cards is a great hobby, but the friendships that you forge while being in the hobby, that's what it's really about. And that's what we stand for, and that's really what we try and focus on. Dave is fantastic about bringing other people to the show that I know of, but I've never interacted with. I've known Stoop for a lot of years. But just now, last night, watching the video from Aaron, I found out what his first name is. I had no idea what his first name is. He's always been Snoop to me.
Uncle Rock.
You know. So it's one of those in which Hitman, sorry, I forget your first name. I'm terrible with names, so don't be offended, please.
Oh, it's a rare name. It's Mike.
Oh, just what we need. Another Mike.
Another
that
Mike.
Should be,
I know.
That should be, but that should be easy for me to remember. So, okay. If I forget it, then I'll be at National this year. If you happen to see me, if I call you Hitman, you can slap me. I'll give you. And that's on that. Hey, that's being recorded. So everybody who's here.
No, man, it's all good.
But I'm terrible with names. That's the way I've always been. But like I said, voting for your friends, yeah. So I have my ballot already prepared. I haven't made my video yet. I have 2 people on my ballot that I think are well deserving. They're OG, like I am, but I'm not friends with them. I know them, they know me, but we're not friends.
Yeah.
We're acquaintances. We haven't interacted, but to me, I think are deserving to be in the Hall of Fame. All the other ones I've talked to or met. Have I met any of the ones on my list? No, I haven't met any on my list, so I take that back. But I've interacted with via text message, phone call, blog TV, whatever. So yeah, am I voting for my friends? Absolutely. But I also appreciate what they have done from a video perspective. And I've gotten to know them through videos, not just through cards, but even from a personal interaction, personal life, kids, relationships, to take it outside of cards and actually talk about family life, problems, health issues, deaths in the family. I mean, that actually says something. So voting for your friends, there's nothing wrong with it at all. But I want to go back to Scotty's comment. I'm not going to go into the details because him and Lou Rock were having a side conversation because apparently Lou was having an all-out sparring discussion with another channel, and I'm not even going to call him out because I'm not a fan of that person, so I refuse to give them any credit. But Scotty has a point, and this is nothing against any of the new crew. Nothing. Scotty's ballot is mostly OG guys.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people who came into the space right around the pandemic only focused on a lot of the newer channels. They don't know about a lot of us old people. That sounds really bad. We're not that old, but you
I am.
I think most of us are in our 40s here, except for Brad. Okay, so you're in your 50s, Mike. Okay. You look good for being in your 50s. Okay?
Oh, thank you. Feel like I'm 70, but that's good.
Well, I'm 43 and I feel like I'm 70. So does that count for anything? But it's one of those in which it sucks for some of us who have been around a long time. Snoop being around for what, 7 years, 8 years?
Something like, I'm not even sure.
Give or take.
Yeah. Brad
is 8, 9, 7, 8 in that realm. Dave and I 12 plus, I think. Since most of us were doing videos about that time, and then the new crew came in, a lot of the new folks don't know anything about us. Which sucks. I'm going to be honest, it sucks. But at the same time, it's great that we find new channels to watch because a lot of the people that we used to watch stopped doing it for whatever reason. So it gives us more content to watch, but yet a lot of the newer folks have no idea who the hell we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's you get focused in your day to day, and you focus on those individuals that you come to expect and watch and get to know and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's us old guys.
Yeah, but the older guys, the OGs, their style is different. You know,
Yes.
their style is way different. And I got to say, for the most part, I like the OG style. You know, when Brad gets a card and Brad is talking about a card, he's talking about the player, what the player did last week, if they played, you know, how their season's been going, how they've done
Usually not
previously.
well.
You're getting a history of that player and of probably what goes along with that card. You know, it's the joy of the card itself from the OG guys. And you know, newer guys don't do that. It's just this card, this card, this card. Ooh, look, I got a shiny one. This card, this card. You look at the 90s collectors, they're talking about the manufacturer, the pack odds of pulling it, what the stated print run was. And even though it was a stated print run, there may be some other little variation within that set and how hard it is to find that out, the total number. It's just a different style of how they do their videos. I like the OG style. I like learning about the player. One of the OG guys, Jericho, IMI, you know, oh gosh, when he's talking about a bench card, he tells you about the stadium the photo was taken in, the glove he had on, if there were stains on the uniform. He's all into it. And I love that information. Makes me want to go out and buy the card.
Yeah, that does help a lot when you see stuff when people do that, and that's kind of what I'll just go in terms of, like, you know, for example, I'm just going to grab this card right here. Where's my camera? There it is. This Denny Martinez card, right? What is it? It's a junk wax extravaganza, but that's the stuff that I like to hone in on because I find things interesting about those types of cards. And you know, what's he doing? He's picking up the rosin bag, and just, you know, me and Four Leaf have very similar types of collecting styles. We look for that, like, sublime stuff out there, and you know, I'll die on the hill. You know, I love the common card, man. If you couldn't have the high end cards without the common card, right? You couldn't have them. Yep. And that's where I kind of like fall into that's what I've really been focusing on more and more. I kind of do the opposite. I try to do the opposite whatever everybody else does, just to keep myself a little different, you know. And I love this stuff. I love it all. It's on cardboard. I love it. I can find something interesting about it, and you know, and I think that's what people, you know, is missing now. Just appreciating what is on the card, the picture, the design of the card. That's, I think, is missing in a lot, you know, especially in the new groups that are coming into the hobby. So I'll keep that fire burning for sure.
Well, you know, Hitman, one of the other things too with it is a lot of newer channels focus on the highest dollar rookie autograph patch.
Yes.
And Brian Gray said it best. How are you putting a patch of a rookie in a card that takes time to produce, time to get the jersey, time to cut it, time to do the artwork and everything, and you expect that to be the real jersey they wore in that card? Time does not permit that.
That's exactly true. Absolutely.
And this is coming from, you know, I'm a Hall of Fame relic collector.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I'm planning on working on this year is focusing on like a bio of the player and that card, where you get the whole rundown when they started, how the seasons went, their best seasons, some stats, and you get to see the card.
Yeah.
And roughly, because that's the cool thing with relics, a lot of times you can figure out exactly where it came from on the jersey. You know, talking about that too. It's just the love of the aesthetic of the card.
Exactly. And And most of the stuff that you're looking for is going to be game used.
Yes.
Which I don't want to go down a slippery slope. That'll probably be a topic for another episode, Dave. Just throwing that out there because I hate player worn stuff, especially in high end products. Flawless, Eminence, NT. I don't give a damn. All of that should be game used, and if it isn't, don't put the player with a piece of memorabilia in the product. Period. End of conversation. It drives me nuts. Being a player collector and seeing some of the high end stuff, most recent, being 2020, 2021 Flawless, 2021 Eminence football, $30,000 a pack. $30,000 a pack. And almost everything is player worn. Are you freaking kidding me?
Wow.
Are you freaking kidding me? Please help me understand how that should be even allowed. As a collector, as a breaker, as a casual card lover, how in the world can that even be acceptable? Ever.
The player worn stuff?
Yes.
Well, I know from a friend of mine who works for an MLB team, there's a difference between player worn and game used.
Right.
Player worn is in the locker room when those guys are getting ready to change, and they say, "Here, put this shirt on, take it off. Put this shirt on, take it off. Put this hat on, take it off." That's player worn. Game used is a whole different animal. Yeah, that was actually worn in a game, but that means we all miss Upper Deck.
But that's so prime example. I've shown this before. This is why I mostly collect Terrell Davis up to 2015 because the bulk of it is game used.
Yes.
That is a 101 patch. That is game used. Player worn? Not gonna happen.
Are you saying she has no?
And the worst part about player worn now is they aren't even going to get the jerseys that they actually even played in. Like, at least get the style of jersey he played in, even if he wasn't game worn. Like the Dan Marino from Eminence is a new Dolphins jersey.
That's stupid.
I'm like, at least go get the old cheap jersey that he would have at least, that you wore in the
You would have
90s,
worn
right?
it,
Yeah. At least do that. But yeah, that's what I've noticed now is they're just using the brand new jersey.
Yeah. I miss Upper Deck hands down. Upper Deck did it right. Old Fleer, old Donruss, that
Donruss Leaf playoff.
Yes, yeah. The old stuff, it's the best, but you're going to pay for it now. And a lot of people will not believe just how high you have to go in prices to get that stuff. Because, this is the Gwen that Aaron had sent me. And on the back of it, you can see, I'm reading it through the screen. Congratulations, you've received the Tony Gwynn Game Use Trading Card. The Upper Deck company on the front of this card is an authentic piece of jersey worn by Tony Gwynn in an official Padres Major League Baseball game. We hope you. Does it get better authentication than that?
No, it's like I said, that's going to have to be a topic, its own topic, because I can go on and on about it because it agitates the crap out of me. And of course, Dave disappeared briefly, which he likes to do from time to time, especially when we have multiple people, and then he leaves me to run the show.
Yeah,
and I have nothing to go off of.
Yeah, make sure you bring me back when we do that topic.
Oh.
I had a feeling you were probably stuffing your face. So Dave, make a note in your pretend notebook.
I got an actual note.
If and when we talk about game used and player worn or event used, because then there's that too. And now the general statement of the enclosed piece of memorabilia is not from any game, event, whatever the hell it is. It's so bland and generic. Make sure we bring Snoop back on for that one. Snoop wants to be a part of that one.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the one we'll get Snoop fired up on. Maybe. Just maybe.
You were close earlier before we went live.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm really trying, and I'm
poking the bear. Poking the bear.
Not in a bad way, at least. I'm not poking him in a bad way, at least.
No, it's good. You got to fire him up whatever means necessary.
So, Dave, I'm sure you have certain things on your mind that you do want to kind of run through everybody or have a conversation piece with. So,
I'd say the first question would be, when you make the ballot, I'd say what your criteria is, because we all have different criteria. But in the same vein, how much you have the 3-year threshold. That's sort of like the baseline of making videos. Or you pick up a new channel, maybe from the last voting, that you really enjoy. How much do those things factor in bumping somebody off your list if you do the full 10 or whatever it may be? And then how do you sort of determine, well, this guy, this gal, whoever it is, they gotta go. I mean, what do you think there? Again, don't have to mention names or any of that. But you see, like, a lot of folks, well, here's like the crop for next year. Well, hey, save that discussion for next year. You can say, hey, here's some of my honorable mentions and just sort of gloss it as that. Because for me, again, personally, when you're sitting there and saying, well, I can't wait till next year's class. Well, so the people this year are shit or what? I mean, that's how I sort of take it. It's like, well, we got to nominate 5, so fuck, here's 5, whatever. But hey, next year, oh shit, that's the class to watch. It's like when you had the Marino, Elway, Jim Kelly, all those guys going in at the same time. Well, the class before, it's like, well, let's say, hey, Bruce Smith's going in. Well, yeah, hey, good job, Bruce. Well, Marino, we got your bus waiting. Okay. No, so a random hodgepodge of things there, but.
So, like, what I use to narrow it down is I start at 5 years. I don't even do the 3. I start at 5. So you aren't even considered until you're at 5.
It's easy for people to
for me. That's how I narrow it down. And my other criteria is when you make a video, I always want to watch it. Pretty much no matter what it's about. So, like, I don't care if you're showing what you're showing, but if I always find myself always clicking on it no matter what, then to me, that's Hall of Fame worthy stuff, So those were my main 2 that I helped condense it down to like 25, It would have been like 60, if you count. And then the other thing was, I want you to still be active in the community in some way. Otherwise, even though you might be deserving to still be in it, based on what you did for years before, the fun of this whole thing is kind of everyone getting to know each other and branch out a little bit. So I don't really want to nominate someone who hasn't made a bid in 4 years, and isn't around, So those were the 3 probably things I did to narrow it down.
So, Brad, what you're saying is when I make videos, you don't want to watch them, which is why I didn't make your list. Is that what you're saying?
No, why you didn't make the list is you didn't make enough videos.
I'm giving you shit, Brad. I'm giving you shit.
But that was why you just missed. I was like, you just didn't make enough.
I love you. That is the disadvantage of being a player collector. For anybody out there who is strictly focused on one player and one player only, it gets extremely difficult to make multiple videos throughout the year. So keep that in mind if you decide to go down that rabbit hole. Just FYI for anybody out there.
It's all just BS.
I'll leave the question up to Snoop or Mike. Since I know your name, Xavier, I should start calling you by your name, unless you, if it matters.
Doesn't matter.
But that doesn't change the fact.
Doesn't matter. Oh, you go ahead, Mike. Hitman.
So, I mean, it's pretty easy for me. Like Brad said, if I find myself always watching the videos of a channel, then they're on my list. There's no, and that's the thing is, I'm subscribed to so many channels that I can't watch every channel. I don't think anybody really can watch every channel. That's the unfortunate piece. And I'm sure there's a ton of channels I'm missing in terms of even, getting behind. But once I'm kind of a creature of habit. I latch onto a channel and I see them pop up a video and I'm watching it. They're on my list. And once I vote for somebody, I will stay with them until they get in. Like, that's just how, I feel like it's a loyalty thing. And I mean, you'd have to kill somebody to get off my, you'd have to do something crazy to not get, stay on my ballot if it's somebody that has been getting my votes. And the one channel I get for me that blows me away, that doesn't doesn't garner a ton of attention, but he's always making videos, and he just loves collecting his Wildcat 72. He had that issue with his channel getting turned off by YouTube for whatever reason, and he came back with I Love Sports Cards. And the guy just is constantly making videos about his cards. He may show one card, he may show a group of cards, but you can just feel the passion he gives off. And he does baseball, football, he does everything. And I just, I voted for him, and I know it doesn't, I even said in my video that, I hope it doesn't get held against him that, because his original channel got taken down, not through no fault of his own. And then he started a new channel, which isn't 3 years old, then it doesn't count against him for voting purposes. I hope that's not the case. But I just look at him specifically, and I'm like, that guy should be in the Hall of Fame. The way he loves his cards and just has such a diverse collection, and I will just keep I'll keep on that until. So that's pretty much my two things. It's a must watch for me, and once I latch on to somebody, I want to stay with them and continue voting to them until they get in the Hall of Fame. So I'm a simple guy, simple man. So I don't go too nuts with too many rules or criteria. So that's how I keep it.
Yeah, I'm pretty simple. I watch the channels.
Yep.
And I guess it's just stuff that I like.
Exactly.
And,
I mean,
now there are a few that I voted for every year that have not gotten in the Hall. And I'm probably still going to vote for him again this year.
Yeah.
And, and it's a lot of it is because of awareness. One of the guys, I'd met him at National, and, we got to talking, and he's been on so long, you can literally watch his kids grow up through his videos. And Brad knows who I'm talking about. I mean, when probably 3 years in, he's holding his son like this in his arms. Just came home from the hospital. And now his son's in like 4th or 5th grade. And I think it's every other week he does a video with his son. And he told me that he could care less who watches his videos at National. He said he does these videos in case something ever happens to him. His kids can go back and say, there's my dad with me when I was a kid, and he's awesome. Having fun. And I will continue to vote for him because of that. But, I see a lot of new guys that I like watching that are at the 3-year threshold. I'll throw some votes for them. But a lot of them are going to be OG guys who I think deserve to be in. They do great content. I'm always learning something from them. Those are the ones that I love, putting in.
I don't trust you, and I absolutely will not use my knowledge.
And that's fair. Across the board, everybody has great points, and I brought up mine is from a longevity perspective. And not that a lot of people watch my stuff. Even I've had roughly about the same amount of subscribers for as long as I can remember. I see. But at the same time, my videos have never garnered a shit ton of views, and that's fine. I know most of the people who watch my videos, and I'm okay with that. And usually the same people comment on my videos, and I'm okay with that. But at the end of the day, and this may sound really, really bad, but I make the videos for me. I do it as a historical reference of how my collection has grown over the years. Not to mention, there are videos of my youngest. Quite a few videos of my youngest. My youngest is now 16 years old. Okay? They were 3 or 4 when I started. So it's in those situations and circumstances, it's like I go back and watch some of those and it just puts a smile on my face.
Yeah.
So longevity has always been the number one for me. Like I said, I think everyone on my ballot has been doing it at least 6+ years at a minimum. I think. Like I said, most I've interacted with, I've talked to on multiple occasions via text, phone call, blog, so on and so forth. Brad, only recently through the IRP have I really had the opportunity to get to know a lot better. So through the IRP, I've started to get to know Brad a lot more. And it's one of those in which it's nice that we have this platform to be able to expand those and grow those relationships. You know, now sitting here having a conversation with Mike and Xavier, I feel like, okay, we're sitting here talking face to face, having great conversation, cutting up, kidding around, having some good laughs. I need to do my part and engage with you guys more. Whether it be through what you guys collect, teams, sport, whatever. Mike, you mentioned Redskins. Do you do anything vintage? If you do, I have stacks of vintage here that I have nothing to do with. If you want some vintage Redskins cards, I'll be more than happy to send them to you.
I love them.
Xavier, same thing. You say you're a Giants guy. I probably have some vintage. It's not superstars. Most of these are going to be commons. But I don't do vintage. I would rather them go somewhere who would appreciate them than sitting here collecting dust. And that's, to me, about what all of this is about. I don't send stuff to people for recognition. Ever. I don't ever expect a damn thing back. And honestly, I don't care if you make a video.
Is it locked in?
Let me know you get it. Give me a thumbs up. Say, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Outside of that, I'm good. That makes my day. But if you make a video, that makes my day even more.
Yeah.
You know, and that's back in the day, it was always called the just because.
Right.
No strings attached, just because you did it out of the kindness of your heart. And a lot of people who came in with a flourish and disappeared real quick is they took that for granted. They were like, oh, I'm seeing all these just because packages being sent out and people getting returned the favor. Okay, I'm going to start doing the same thing. But then when you don't get anything back, you bitch about it. Take it easy. So it's like, no.
That's not what it's about. Yeah, absolutely. Not what it's about.
Like I said, you're supposed to do it out of the kindness of your heart, whether it be trying to help complete a set or somebody's favorite player or a favorite team. You know, Brad takes it to the extreme. But on the flip side, I can relate and appreciate it because I used to be the same way. Hyper focused on paying attention to the little things that people say or mention. And Vinny's the same way too. Hold on. Let me make you bigger there, Mike. Hold on 1 second. What do you got there?
Brad. This is Brad.
This is Charlie Taylor.
This is Brad.
Yep.
Yeah,
every
that
day.
was one of my favorite.
I look at him
videos to
every
watch
single day. Every single day, man. I just had to show those. So every day, dude.
Oh, I have mine too from Brad sitting over here in my big old stack of stuff that I still need to organize.
Yeah, mine's right there, right on the shelf, right over there that he sent me.
Yeah, and I just for the record, because Joey was here earlier in his video. First and foremost, thank you for the nomination, Joey. I really do appreciate it. By the way, you are on my list, same as you were last year. I'm not as organized as what you think I am. I talk a good game, and yes, I have my spreadsheet, but I have stacks of shit still sitting over here that I have not integrated into my checklist, integrated into the collection. So much love, and I appreciate the compliment, but I'm not as organized as what you think I am.
Steve.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can show you a mess if you want to see a mess. Maybe you didn't watch my video where people kept asking me what's going on in my. Oh, see, that's organized.
No, that's not organized. That's not organized.
Snoop.
No. No.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. That would drive me nuts.
I think I got you beat, man. I got shit all over the place. I'm trying to get organized. That's one of my 2023 goals, is to get better organized, get my checklist updated, get my stuff integrated, because my good friend Dave, yeah, that guy, and Vinny they're consistently on me about getting an updated checklist. So I've been failing them as of late.
Well, I've been using. Well, it doesn't matter what I've been using because I'm actually in the process of trying to get this mess organized. Mm-hmm. I've been slowly trying. It's hard.
Yes.
And I've actually found cards that I totally forgot I had, and that I have double and triple bought.
That I haven't done.
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
Something
you get the card and you're looking at it and you're like, awesome, I can't believe I finally got this thing. And then you go straightening up something.
Like,
oh, what the hell did I get that damn thing?
I don't keep checklists, man. I'm like the worst. I don't keep checklists at all. I'm just like, yep.
Yeah, like, I'm really organized, but I don't have any like spreadsheet or checklist.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I'm organized. I'm pretty organized.
It's by player and by year of those guys. You know, like, but I don't have any like checklist.
Yeah.
Well, from a player collector perspective, though, you have to.
I know, and I'm an idiot.
Like Nate.
Yeah.
I don't know how Nate keeps his stuff organized.
Oh, dude.
But and he just says I have a 2-row that I need to put away. But you know, your definition of putting away may be different than my definition of putting away. I got 300 and something cards sitting over here, and then I've got stacks back behind it, and then some over there that you may or may not be able to see that, you know, some of them are checklisted. They just need to be integrated. I see, Nate, I don't know how you do that, because like from my perspective, Terrell Davis has like just under 4,000 cards, I think, give or take a few hundred. I haven't bothered to check in a while because I don't focus a lot on the newer stuff. But I have over 2,500 unique currently in the collection, which is a shit ton if you put things into perspective.
Sure is.
But from a baseball perspective, and him collecting Barry Bonds, who spans back to 86, that's even more than me, like 3 times the amount of me. So I don't know how anybody could know. You know, Joey's also told me he knows what he has. No, I don't always know what I have. There's times I have to go back and check the checklist, because let's face it, sometimes your brain is so full of so much information that it's like, I think I have it. And unlike Xavier and buying 2 and 3 copies of something, I hate doubles. So if I buy a double, it royally chaps my ass.
I don't mind getting a double here or there.
Just so
Yeah.
Terrell
I'll just somebody else.
Terrell Davis has 6.
How many?
He has 6,006 cards as of right now.
That's
Okay.
Terrell Davis.
Yep. And that's all because of all the new garbage.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
You mean you don't like the 260 different parallels?
No. That's another topic we've gone down, Xavier, on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
We're not going there.
I did the Scherzer. The Scherzer, I think it's the 2020 or 2021. And these are all parallels of the same card. Just to get this whole thing done. $17, and I got another one down here, a green one. That's $18, and there are 3 that I said I'm not even going for because people wanted too much money for it. Just ridiculous amount of parallels.
Yeah, it gets insane after a while. It does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Lou's back.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Lou.
Lou Rock TV.
See, Nate, that's the one thing, like early on, okay, so Terrell Davis only played 7 years. Okay. Still thankful he made the Hall of Fame. I think it was well deserving. His Super Bowl stats is that by itself should have made him eligible. Took him a long time for him to get in, was super pumped. It sucked. It brought a lot of other new people to the Terrell Davis world. Which of course increased a lot of his prices, which also limits what I'm willing to pick up from time to time. Back in my heyday, I went a little crazy, but he only played 7 years, and up through 2002, which was post playing days technically, he still had quite a few cards. From like 2003 all the way up to about 2007, 2008-ish, the counts dropped. They kind of like majorly like leveled off. And then, for whatever reason, 2009, 2010, Panini got a hold of it and shit just started skyrocketing up. I enjoyed it to a point because it was nice to get new stuff in the newer products, because some of the newer products I really liked, but it got to the point to where I'm like, I can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
101 here, 101 there. This product has 4 101s. Oh, I got to have all 4 of them.
Yep.
So it just makes things difficult. I mean, I'm very fortunate from a collecting perspective. I have over 200 unique autographs. I couldn't tell you how many autograph cards he has, but I have over 200 unique. And I think I'm sitting at over 40 101s. So I'm very thankful for what I've been able to acquire over the years. And I'm still able to get things from time to time. But I have narrowed down my focus. And I've had to. 2015 and older and more late 90s, early 2000s, serial numbered stuff, 100 or less. Just because I still have a lot of bullet holes in the collection space, so to speak, to fill. But anyways, now I'm going off on like I'm doing one of these. Thanks, Dave. You're rubbing off on me. After 2.5 years, you're rubbing off on me. Talking about my criteria for the Hall of Fame, and then of course I don't know. Anyways, Dave, I'm sure you have another question you'd like to ask. Vinny, I know you can't vote. I know you can't vote yet, technically, but when you have the opportunity to place your ballot for the YouTube Hall of Fame, what's your criteria going to be?
All hockey, nothing but hockey. all hockey.
That'd be awesome.
That's fair.
No,
All hockey all the time.
Yeah, no, there's, one of my first channels I started watching was Baseball Junkies TV. So that was one of the first channels I watched with Elite Co 3. So Elite Co's in, Baseball Card Junkies TV's in. So my two oldest channels. And how I stuck around was the night of Hobby Palooza, the first time. I actually was talking to Snoop and Aaron Davis in an after thing. I think it was Mike O's thing about who was it? Buck O'Neill.
Yeah.
How my brothers went to a card show and no one knew who he was. And my brother called me that night because I was away at university. And he's like, Buck O'Neill was there today. I said, did you get his autograph? He's like, yeah. He goes, we stood there and talked to him for an hour. He goes, no one knew who he was.
Yep.
And I think that was one of the greatest tragedies that I ever heard. Because despite being the hockey guy, I'm also the baseball guy and the football guy and the occasional basketball and soccer guy. But just because I collect hockey mainly, baseball is my second love. I would say probably soccer is probably my third love because of my daughter, my youngest daughter. So I try to collect everything. And now she likes Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! So I just put her off with Ed at the National and say, you two go look at all those cards. And I'm sure Ed will bring her back in about 3 hours and have enough Pokemon cards to, I'm all about the community aspect. When I vote, if you're not rolling with the community and if the cards are your focus, bye. You're not getting my vote. It's something more to me. Like Amish Dave Archer. It was, what was it? Lethal Weapon Superpowers was the question I asked you when you were on, I think it was Essential Credentials. And then you and I started talking after that, and the rest is history. So, and I've been around ever since. Lucky for you guys.
Says
I got a
you.
question for all of you. Do you guys collect sports you don't watch? I was surprised by the answer when I asked a few people this, that they do. Because I wonder, all these baseball guys, I'm like, because I'll hear like, oh, I watch football way more than I watch baseball, but they only collect baseball. So I'm like, you would think you would collect the thing you watch the most, right? Just, I would think. But I found that not to be the case necessarily. So I'm just curious, what you guys collect stuff you barely watch or don't watch at all?
I do a little. I have a tiny hockey collection, and again, I kind of, I go back to my childhood, and that's my focus,
Right.
my wheelhouse. So I remember as a kid, at the time I was old enough to remember. I remember living outside of Philadelphia, and I, caught some Flyers games on the TV, and I remember hearing the players talk about all the time. And a buddy of mine was into hockey cards, so I had to get into hockey cards because my buddy was into them. So I remember those late 70s hockey cards. So one of my little side things, projects, is putting together the 1977-78 Topps hockey and the 78-79 Topps hockey, just because I remember coming out with the kid.
Right, that's when you actually watched it and heard it on the radio, right?
And up till this day, I won't watch a regular season hockey game, but I will watch some hockey during the playoffs, for sure. But again, it's minimal. But I just remember, I remember that time from being young and a kid and really enjoying those cards. So now that I can afford them as a working adult, I do pick them up every once in a while and trying to complete those sets. So that's, I would say I definitely do some of that for sure. For sure. I was at the National this year, and Snoop, you were saying before about boxing cards. Now, I don't watch boxing at all. I'm not a boxing fan, but I'm assuming it was a rookie card. It was Joe Lewis's, I think, 48 Leaf card, and for some reason, that thing just smacked me in the face when I saw it. I was like, the colors on the card were just amazing, and I would never even think about buying something that first of all, I couldn't buy it. It was pretty expensive, but I was like, wow, like if I would get that card just because it was just such beauty, and a historical figure, and then that was cool. But I mean, I've maybe watched 3 rounds of boxing, not counting Rocky, in my entire life. So yeah, I mean, I could see where some of the intrigue and curiosity comes into some of that, where people may collect something they don't really kind of watch, but it's not something I would like make a big part of my practice,
Right.
So.
Well, yeah, I watch it. That's pretty simple.
You watch boxing?
Not new boxing.
Oh,
so like the boxing stuff that I'm trying to get is stuff mostly 70s, 80s, and earlier. I say that, but there are a few guys in the 90s I loved watching. So, I'll probably pick up an autographed glove of theirs. But, during the 80s, I completed my run of the top of the 80s. Graduating in 93, we all roughly the same age. We all remember Mike Tyson.
Oh, heck yeah.
So, I had to get something to Tyson. My dad was a huge Sugar Ray Leonard fan. Sugar Ray Leonard autographed glove. It's more the nostalgia for me with the boxing. I don't watch current. I think boxing is now going to a lost sport because of MMA. When MMA came and got a good stronghold, that was about it for boxing. And now baseball, I watch baseball.
Oh yeah.
I'll sit back and I'll watch baseball. Football, if I'm able to watch it at home, I watch it. So yeah, that's basically primarily the stuff that I get is baseball, football, and boxing.
I can tell you.
Don't get me wrong. There's a wrestling belt right there over my shoulder, but that's also Ric Flair. That was my childhood.
Yes.
I'm also trying to get a Hulk Hogan autograph belt, but I was a little kid. I thought I was Hulk Hogan too. Had the red shirt. Hulkamania was running wild, and when the cartoon came on and WCW came on and all of that, my parents went crazy when me and my brother got to watch wrestling.
Matches in the living room, man. Matches in the living room. I can tell you this, guys. If Snoop, especially if you're just even curious about boxing collection, Elite Hunters has a pretty nice boxing card collection. He's definitely go back and maybe about a year ago or so he did a feature on his boxing collection. Pretty cool stuff he's got. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, boxing has a rich history too, and
for sure,
I love history and reading about different athletes, their struggles and what they went through, everything. So that really intrigues me also.
For sure. MMA killed boxing. Yep.
So, Brad, to answer your question, I do watch baseball on occasion. Hockey, postseason, 100%. I will watch the hockey playoffs just because there's nothing like it. And regardless of what anybody says in the comments, if anybody's paying attention, I am not the self-proclaimed hockey oracle, somehow, shape, form, or fashion. I have been giving that name along with others that we will not go into. No, I am not highlighting Paul's comment, Vinny, but nice try. Football, of course, is the main focus. I've collected baseball and basketball over the years. I've kind of like flip-flopped depending on year and era. So I do have some basketball stuff from like a rookie perspective, and then same on the baseball front. So
Let's start with the basics.
I've expanded into more of the newer basketball rookies and the newer baseball rookies, just because I'm trying to expand my portfolio per se. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, my card collection goes to my kids, and yes, I hope Terrell Davis continues to increase in value, but I'd prefer to have other things that could potentially increase in value as well. On the flip side, a lot of the sets I have or I've collected over the years is because of key rookies. Most of that being football driven, but I do have a few basketball sets. I do have a few Kobe rookies. I do have a LeBron rookie, not top dollar or anything along those lines, but I still have that as a component of my collection, even though it's not a focal point. You're not going to see a lot of it on the channel per se. So, okay, Paul, I'll give you credit. I can't argue with the last statement. I appreciate the sentiment from the crew that is known as the IRP that has bestowed the name of the Hockey Oracle upon myself. Anyways, great question. Great question, though, Brad. Great question. Vinny, did you hear the question? Do you need the question repeated? Your take? We already know Dave's answer. We're not even going to let Dave talk. We already know Dave's side of it.
Well, 90% of my collection's him. So he's my focus. It's what I enjoy because it was such a big part of the history of Pittsburgh hockey. I was funny. My wife was eating lunch with Steve Yzerman, and she goes to him, "You're my husband's second favorite hockey player." And Steve looked at her like, "You have me intrigued. No one's ever said that before." So he grew up in Pittsburgh. He watched you get drafted. You were his favorite player. Then the next year, Mario got drafted. So Mario took the thunder away from Stevie Y, but Stevie Y is probably one of my other side PCs. I collect him with the good thing is a lot of stuff Mario's in, Stevie's in. So I try to collect as much as I can of Stevie because those were my guys growing up. And to this day, they're still my two top favorite guys. And then baseball, it was always the Pirates and the Steelers. And now I'm getting into soccer because my daughter's a keeper in soccer. So I grab stuff like this that looks cool, where it's this guy is Luka Modric. He's from Croatia. So being 50% Croatian, I enjoy watching him. So I try to grab cool stuff of his. And John Luigi Dollarama, who's the Italian goalie for the Italian national team, I try to grab his stuff. So I try to keep it fresh. I watch soccer with my daughter all the time. I watch Premier League, Championship League, La Liga, Nisa Soccer. I got a gold medal from one of them. So it's become 20 years ago. If you told me I would be watching soccer on the weekends, I'd call you crazy. But now I enjoy it probably almost as much as I like football, American football. So, but hockey's always number one. I'll watch 24/7, and when baseball season's here, all I watch is hockey and baseball. And Saturdays, Premier League, Championship League. So, exactly, Ghost. Thank you for the extra information there, buddy.
Don't worry, Uncle Vinny. I'm reading some stuff on hockey. This was something I never knew about.
Oh,
Negro Hockey League.
Wow.
There's a guy on Instagram who does something similar with the Asian hockeys. And then we have Name Cardinal, who does the indigenous players on for hockey. And it's fascinating. So
it's that history is pretty wild. I've been reading up on a lot of it.
Yeah, the IG community for hockey is fast. And a lot of us stay connected via that because there are a lot of hockey people on Instagram. And I just wish more would come over to, YouTube and make videos, because Name he does one every once in a while, but he hasn't put up as many. But then there's Carlos, who does them every week, but he's not a strictly hockey guy. He's a Madonna collector. Many people fail to realize all the things that Carlos does collect. So
he is also vast in his collecting endeavors.
Correct.
But it's always amazing how some of us get pigeonholed. I've always been known as the TD guy. Vinny, since joining YouTube and being a part of the YouTube space per se, he's known as the Lemieux guy. Dave is known as the Josh Johnson guy. But my collection is deeper than that, of course. I also collect Broncos. Broncos autographs in a Broncos uniform is my preference, but I even have a small side University of Texas collection. Players drafted into the NFL. And those I actually prefer in the UT jersey. So, not to mention I'm a huge Topps Chrome fan. Huge. Still got to finish 2002, and eventually I'll acquire 2001. But I have complete sets from 96 to 2015 of Topps Chrome every year. And then Dave's gonna bust out with his Jim Brown patch number to 3 or whatever it is. See, I was right. It's numbered to 3. There's Campanella for you there, Xavier.
I know. Yeah.
Explain how he knew that Amal had access to botulism and may be sympathetic to the cause.
Can we reach doing Smack Dave?
He'll be at National, Xavier. If you're going to be there, you can smack him.
We need to add a shocker button over there.
Now that is a sick ass card.
Yes.
Wow.
85 Fleer rookie.
84 update.
84 update. Sorry, Fleer update. I remember when you got that one. Such a beautiful card.
Those are hard pulls from Donruss. Really hard pulls.
Really, really hard.
But that's where people think, okay, Josh Johnson. They think shitty PCs, Josh McCown, Dennis Northcutt, Jay Samaro, which, again, you're not wrong. But I remember when I went through, and I think you, Snoop, and Aaron were in the chat. We went through some of those Hall of Fame relics, the patches and shit, and then of the mostly football. I'm like, I got more of that shit than, I won't say anybody I've seen, but anybody I've come across. And again, that's not like the dick measuring thing, but it's just through whatever avenues I've gone down, I haven't seen that kind of depth. And it's not like I've got a huge collection. And then Mangini's wanted like to start looking, seeing what he's got, because I know he's got an insane collection of stuff like that. But for people I have watched in the past, I don't know of them. And again, we all live in our little bubbles. For YouTube wise, collecting wise, I mean, we try to expand as much as we can, but again, going back to the how many hours in a day, life, work, bills, family, all that other shit. It's like, I love that stuff, and when you start thinking the Hall of Fame, it's like I want either somebody who are fucking collecting to the point where you're a Nate and you've got, and he's got a lot of just cards of other players, collections. But when I think Nate, immediately Barry Bonds. Yep. I want somebody that is just like so engrossed in whatever they're collecting that they can go off for 20 minutes talking. I really don't want to listen to Steve talk about another Terrell Davis, but I mean, I'll humor him. But like Victor Negron's the other one that people will mention, and it's sort of him, the Stemic, Tom Hudson Fan 15, who doesn't make many videos on here anymore. I'll say myself too. When you get such a player collector and their time has come and gone, you just sit there and it's like, okay, that's what I know you as. And then are you still making videos, or maybe you don't put them up all the time because you're waiting for the bigger cards to pop that haven't popped after 5, 10, 20 years. It's like I'm waiting for a 101 to pop, waiting for something number to 12 to 15 to 5. So you don't want to sit there and spend those discretionary funds for something you just, I want something in the mail. Bills come in the mail, that you can open those. You don't want to sit there and just spend foolishly. And again, with the card market for the last 3 years.
You know, I know you're talking about cards, but that's kind of what pushed me a little more into autograph memorabilia, like those football helmets. And believe me, I'm planning on buying more. I love autographed football helmets. And I'm looking at, and one I'm planning on getting because he only signs one time public and normally one time private a year is Dan Marino. A Dan Marino 101 autograph card is ridiculous. But for that price, I can get a full-size helmet, have Dan Marino autograph it, and put 2 or 3 real unique inscriptions on it, and there's no one else in the world with a helmet like mine.
Yep.
And I got to meet him, and I got to watch him laugh like Lawrence Taylor did when I got that helmet signed. You know, I got a whole experience to go with it for that same price to get my unique 101.
You got a memory, you got a story, you got interaction. And yeah, if you collect the card, or if you collect Marino just diehard hardcore, the card you probably want, but at the same time, it's like, now how many 101s are there? How many 101s can you keep pumping out? NT, impeccable, flawless, whatever the case may be. And then it's like, I'd rather, and I've said it for wrestling, as long as I've met wrestlers,
Podcast. Have you got in yet?
Yeah.
I'd rather meet the people, talk to them, and get that memory. As much as they might be a douchebag, then it's like, okay, honky tonk man, go fuck yourself. Nobody gives a shit. You can remain a stale fucking old man and pissed off at the business because you lost the belt, the IC title way back. I like that memory. Then you can sit there, and when nostalgia becomes like another memory, another experience, that it just really solidifies. Like, personally, that's what I love. If I can meet someone I cheered for, I booed for, I fucking wanted to win, I wanted to lose, whatever the case may be. When you meet those people, it's like that's the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, the sprinkles, all that shit. Especially if they're a decent person and they give you a couple minutes of your time or their time, because again, you paid X amount of dollars to meet them.
And you know, to go with Vinny's story, I live near the DC area. I'm only like an hour and some change from DC. But I go to CSA show when they have it, and they always have it's a football heavy area that I live in. So on average, there are about 35 NFL Hall of Famers there. think this time maybe 6 baseball Hall of Famers were signing. But you can always go to the older players. Nobody's ever in their line. Nobody, and you can go there and just talk with those guys. They'll almost tell you. There was one Negro League player. He recognized me walking around, and he told me, "Hey, pull up a chair and come back here and sit with us and chat," because nobody was talking with him. And if you go to a signing and you get something signed and it's one of the old timers from the game, and they can tell you about what it was like playing in the snow and the mud and the real grit and everything, and how bitter cold it was, and they're taking hits. That stuff is priceless to me. You get it one-on-one, and plus you're getting something signed.
Yep.
That to me is the true one-on-ones. The stupid cards, I don't even go for a card one-on-one. I mean, if you get one, great. Happy for you. I don't even try for a one-on-one.
Yeah. That's the problem with like the shows. You sit there like out of that Chantilly thing. It's like there is a ton, and it's like, well, I want to get A, B, C, E, G, H, J, and K. But and you can't sit there and be like, well, they'll be around next year. They'll be around the next go around, because you don't know. You just don't know. That's always the problem. I mean, it's a good problem to have, but a problem nonetheless. When you're sitting there and like trying to be like, what do I want?
I had something similar with that I'm dealing with now. With I'm trying to remember where I said it. I've got a Johnny Bench glove, and it's the double heart catcher's mitt like he used in 72 and 73 season. And I said, you know what? I want Johnny Bench to sign this glove. And at the time, I think 2019, 2020, you could send it in to the from Johnny Bench's website, $80-$90. He'd sign it, put his sticker on it, send it back to you. Well, now Bench is 76 years old this year, and he signed exclusively for Fanatics, and he doesn't sign as much as he used to. So it's getting to the point of, I got to get it done now, or he's going to stop signing. Right? I look back at all those guys with Willie Mays. Oh, I'll get a Willie Mays auto anytime. It's not a big deal. He signs all the time. And you know what? Willie doesn't sign anymore. You're SOL. So I just don't want to get caught in that whole thing of a lot of guys that I watched and everything that I miss getting their autographs.
All about the experience.
Yeah.
Dave is a big fan of the experience and making, I don't want to say using the term making memories, but at the end of the day, that's ultimately what it is. Whether it be good, bad, indifferent, it doesn't matter. It's still something in which you relish in it only because it's the memory aspect, but then it becomes a sense of nostalgia also. And for individuals that are collector focused, a lot of us still do this in our 40s and our 50s, Mike, because of nostalgia.
Yeah.
We all did it as a kid.
Yeah.
We enjoyed it as a kid. And for whatever weird reason, maybe we're missing some sort of genetic code of, hey, this is a kid's hobby. Maybe you should grow out of it. No. We still enjoy this so much. And that's always been a thing for me. Even when I go on quote unquote hiatus, which I do from time to time, I never stop because it's such a big part of my childhood. And, the memories I had with going to the grocery store with my grandmother and her buying back when, yes, hobby stores were a thing, but there wasn't a designation between hobby and retail, really.
Right.
It was all pretty much the same. But going to the grocery store and her buying me packs and everything else, and I still have all that stuff. I mean, my grandmother's has passed away over 15 years ago, give or take. So it's one of those in which I still have those memories. Yep. I still have part of my biological father's collection. He's been deceased for 10 years. There are some things that have come from his collection that I have passed on to some of my good friends. And they know the history. They know the story. And, when you put all of that into the big scope of things, it all boils down and goes back to the nostalgia aspect and the memories. And, that's nothing anybody can ever take away from you, ever. Like I said, no matter if it's good, bad, and different, it's something that sticks with you and you carry it with you till the end of time, period. So that's probably Mike. I think that's going to be Mike with the smoke alarm battery now going off.
That is me. You can watch any of my videos from about, 6 or 8 months ago. Yep, it's all over the place. Absolutely.
Go change it.
It's in a precarious spot. It's like in the stairwell, and I don't have a ladder that's tall enough to get up there. So I probably have to get out my BB gun or something and shoot it. Or I don't know.
That's the worst.
It is. But I'm afraid of heights. So that's just not my thing.
Oh no, and I get it. But is it amazing though that I have 2 dogs. Yes, Vinny has more than I do, but I have 2 dogs, and it drives my dogs nuts.
My dog don't care. He don't care.
They are like cowering underneath the table that I had. I mean, it is bad. But before we had the dogs, it's like after a while, depending on, it's like, man, I don't want to break out the freaking ladder. I just don't give a shit. I don't want to break out the ladder. I don't want to deal with it. And eventually,
you don't hear it anymore.
You kind of forget about it.
Yeah, you don't even hear it anymore.
Like, prime example, the house behind me, who we can't stand, who on occasion it's too cold outside, or I'd go out on the back patio and see if they're back there singing karaoke. And it's really bad karaoke. Ask Vinny, ask Dave. They've heard it before. It's bad. But they have literally had a smoke detector low battery for like 18 months.
Ooh.
And they still have not bothered to change it. And you hear it. Like, even with their door closed, you walk out on my backpack and you can still hear it.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's bad. But, I get it. I'm not a huge fan of heights.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of heights. I love roller coasters, go figure. But
no, so do I. So do I. But it's in the stairwell and the whole nine, I'm like, and this just doesn't, climb ladders in the most, gentle way,
You said it. You said it. You said it. You said it.
So, it'll beat for a little while. It'll beat for a while, for sure. For sure.
Well, and what's sad, the sad part about all of it is they will beep forever in a day.
I know. It's insane. It's like,
you would think after a certain amount of time, the battery would actually just go dead and it'd be done.
It's God's way of torturing us, man. I don't know. He said, that's it. I'm going to make those smoke alarms drive people to drink.
Yep.
So, yeah.
No, Lou. I don't get it. I seriously don't get it. But I am not exaggerating. It has been at least 18 months, and it has continued to be. It's crazy. Is crazy. And annoying, to say the least.
That is Satan's fire freaking alarm. That is definitely...
So Dave, what other questions do you have related to Hall of Fame stuff? Because we are coming up on the 2-hour mark. I don't know what anybody's schedule is like.
I got about 9% left on my iPad, so I'll probably be cutting out shortly.
So we got time for one more question. We'll let Mike answer the question in the event that his iPad dies or he wants to go ahead and drop off, and we'll let him run.
I would ask, just overall, And I think it could last a while, but at the same time, you just don't know where the hobby, the community, whatever aspect, where it would go. How long do you think, and how long Jake wants to? I know the previous commissioner, one of my best friends of all time, had to deal with some things here and or there, but dealing with things differently. How long do you think this is a viable thing in the community? Again, as much as like previously, you had a lot of people, a lot of naysayers, especially from the old guard. A lot of the old guard people are like, "This is dumb. It's fucking stupid because it's just you." Basically, everybody the first year I never even heard of. Like, who? Where are these channels coming from? Again, without the going back to the being good to get new channels in your subscriber base. It's like, how long can this go on? Because at some point, do people truly care about it, or it's just like, okay, we've got in whoever we care about, and then because again, you've seen it with people of that clique. I'll say it. They got their gang in, and then I don't see a lot of videos from them saying, "Hey, you were voted by the community, your peers. The least you can do is fucking take 5-10 minutes, make a video, shout out some channels, and be on your merry way."
Yeah.
And if you're community oriented, that should be a fucking sort of a prerequisite. If you want to be involved, hey,
you gotta make
just show the love that people showed for you.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. If you got in, you should definitely cast a vote. Like you said, it's an easy thing to do. It's not hard. You may spend some time, whittling down 30 channels, but it's really not a hard thing. How long do I think it's going to last? I don't know what the average lifespan of the YouTube channel is. I really don't. I have never really looked at the metrics of that. Maybe another few years. I think at a certain time it probably will run its course, is my guess. Maybe 2-3 more years, up to 10 years. But as long as somebody's behind it, doing some sort of, like whether it's Jake or somebody else who takes over. I mean, I think that's what's going to keep it going for at least a little while longer. If Jake no longer does it and nobody picks it up, then obviously it's gonna, it'll go to the wayside. I mean, again, I look at it as, I do look at it as a tool of getting to know new channels. And that's really the most important part. And I think just getting the recognition. Honestly, if I don't get it, I don't care if I get in. I really don't. But if I get more out of just people mentioning my name in terms of like, wow, they really thought a lot of me to mention my name. That's good enough for me, man. I think that's really nice. And I really appreciate just being mentioned. Like that's awesome. And I started doing this, I never imagined I would even have 50 subscribers. I'm like, oh, geez, man, how are you gonna get 50 subscribers? And now, the Hall of Fame thing is just like it's an honor in terms of what it is for the community. I think it's a cool thing, but I'm not sure honestly how long it's gonna really last. I don't think it'll be here in 20 years. I don't think so. And I kind of take it as it goes, and if it goes to the wayside, then I'm okay with it. But I will participate as long as it's there, because I do I like to show support for the brothers in the community. I should say the brothers and sisters in the community, because we don't want to exclude anybody. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. That's how I feel about it.
Brad, your thoughts?
So
I would be shocked if it lasts more than 5 more years.
Yeah,
By that.
Yeah,
for sure. I would say the lifespan is max of 5 more years.
that sounds good to me. I go with that.
I'm a guess maybe, I don't know, I would say 5 to 10 years, but it all depends on the participation rate. Because it had started dwindling down a little bit with the old commissioner, and then we got the new commissioner. He changed up some stuff. Boom, it's right back up again. And I think once it dwindles down a little bit, he might pass the torch to somebody else. They'll change a few things, and boom, it breathes new life back into it. So I'm not sure. As long as people are participating, it's going to go on.
Lou.
I was going to say, there you go. If it dies, Lou's going to take it over. He's going to start a new one.
And you have to drink, it has to bourbon has to be involved somehow, right, Lou? Bourbon's got to be involved. So
and hey, you forgot you got to roll your R's.
I was at least drinking. I was at least drinking something. Bourbon comes out, or I should say, the whiskey comes out on special occasion.
It's a special occasion when Lou makes videos, man.
Well, it's as I've said.
That's
last.
I would love to be the first person impeached. If I get in, I want to be impeached.
Yes, well, if you know, if you know anything about the history of us, and Lewis for that matter, he's been on the hashtag impeach Bob Lewis for quite some time.
Look,
we love Bob though. We love Bob.
I thought when I made that rant video, I was going to get a phone call. Look, you need to get that.
Hey,
we've been thinking.
You were speaking your mind.
Yeah, man, you got to be able to do that for sure.
In all honesty, I honestly didn't give two shits about it. Now, at that time, it's because I wasn't as involved as what I was. I had been talking to Dave. Dave and I had reconnected, and that's ultimately what restarted up the IRP. Was those discussions and those interactions, and it's one of those in which the more I started paying attention to it and noticing and finding other channels, I'm like, there is some benefit to this. And like I said, I've stumbled across some. But I do have to agree, 3 to 5 years is probably going to be about the extent of it. I'd like to see it go longer, only because if people use it and leverage for what it is, of finding other channels to watch and interacting with more people and kind of expanding your base, then there's added benefit. So
easy for you to say. You never have to watch 60 minutes like this.
I know for myself personally, I'll never get in, which is fine. I like you said, Mike. I honestly don't care.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it,
you've gotten a ton of votes. If you don't get in this year, you're probably a sure win for next year. Let's face it. Brad's the same way. Xavier's already there. We've got Lou in here. Lou's not in yet, but I think he'll get in.
He's getting in this year, I think.
Yeah, he's getting in.
Yeah.
Carlos has gotten a shit ton of votes so far this year. So it's one of those in which it's nice to see Brad for sure. If Brad doesn't get in, I'm calling a mutiny. I'm gonna just blow some shit up. I mean that, because like I said, Brad should have got in last year, and the year before, for that matter. That's how much I think of Brad. So it's one of those in which there are some people that just miss the cut, but at the same time, there are some out there, especially at least from my perspective, the OG side, there are people that should have been in a long time ago. And if I could make one suggestion, though, to Jake, and I plan on doing this when I do make my nomination video, is that somehow, shape, form, or fashion, they need to find a way to do like a veterans committee. They need to look at some of the OG channels that may or may not still be active, and 1 or 2 should be able to get in on like the Veterans Committee.
Well,
Because there are a shit ton of people out there, in my opinion, that are deserving and should be in at least on an honorable type mention.
now
like,
I haven't heard Jake mention it this year, but Mike had started the AR Falk Award.
Yes, the
longevity.
And they stopped that. Yeah, and they stopped that.
Yeah, and I love the AR Falk one because, man, I miss him, Pooh Bear, Tommy Golf, those guys making videos. Tommy Golf was the best.
But here's the thing. But Tommy's in, which is well deserving.
Yeah.
But let's face it, guys. Chris fucking Justice at Cards Infinity. How in the fucking world is that man not in the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame?
I don't know who that is.
He has been breaking boxes for years.
07 or late 06.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anybody who wanted to see a new product get open, 90% of the people went and watched Chris Justice to see what was being pulled in those boxes.
Yeah.
Wow.
He broke back when Thundering 24 was breaking boxes.
Yeah.
Wow.
AR Platinum is another one who broke product, did group breaks. Not everybody remembers AR Platinum. I do.
Yep.
I sent him a care package. He was a Houston Texans guy. He lives 4.5 hours from me. He doesn't do cards anymore, but there are Tyson, Sictifer, Scott, 90s Cowboys, Den 10th. I could list a shit ton of names.
Yeah, I remember Den 10.
I remember Stale Gum. I remember Stale Gum. That's where I remember him when he used to do videos.
It's like all these older guys that, yes, don't do videos anymore, but I feel like we're an integral part of what YouTube is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Pioneer.
it's like I like the era Falk longevity, but it needs to be like a Veterans Committee type thing, to where you look at people who may not be active anymore, but should still be deserving of being inducted. Whether or not they get a patch or not, they probably won't give two shits. What the hell is this? But still, there are people out there that I feel are deserving of at least that sort of recognition.
Yeah, but
so
I'm of the other camp, similar to you, Steve. Do something for the guys like you, like Dave, like Squeepa 21. You guys have been making videos consistently for over 12 years. You know, that says a lot.
Another guy who's been around forever and a day.
He's a true OG in this. I mean, those are the guys, you know, I think that, you're still doing videos, still doing content, still engaging in the community. You know, you guys.
Well, and
guys, I gotta go. I'm gonna die.
No worries.
All right, Mike.
Thank you very, very much. It was awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for coming and hanging out, Mike.
Absolutely.
We'll have you back on soon.
Absolutely. Love to. Take care.
You too, man.
And Xavier, I appreciate that comment. I mean, I really do. It's one of those, like, for me, and this is what I was alluding to earlier. I know I don't make a ton of videos like I used to. And that's because it is much more difficult for me to do so. Because I'm getting to the point to where adding stuff is a lot more difficult. When you've gotten to a point of 2,500 plus cards to a player collection, it does get a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm here every week with Dave. We're doing this like clockwork unless we're doing vacation or sometimes something comes up and we don't have a show.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I'm here every week. We do this every week. Like clockwork. Okay, not like clockwork since we do take breaks. Carlos's show on Friday or Saturday, that's like clockwork.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those that, like I always say, a lot of people don't know me, and that's fine. Part of that's my own fault. I don't network like I should. But I have a very large appreciation for the old school guys.
Yeah.
And the old school guys have a tendency to get lost. And that's because, like I said, a lot of people don't know who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's only a few of us OG guys still making videos.
Yeah.
And it's us OG guys that are the ones nominating the OG channels so they can somewhat get recognition by the new crew channels.
There's another OG guy just popped in the chat. Ed Whiskergriff.
Yep. So it's the double-edged sword to a degree. I'm going to do my part. I'm going to keep continuing to vote for some of the OG guys that I feel are deserving, and that's not going to change. And I'm going to vote for them until they get in.
Yeah.
If they ever get in, but that's neither here nor there. At a bare minimum, they're going to get my vote.
Mm-hmm.
But and you know, that's one of the reasons I liked throwing a few OGs in my ballot, because someone that watches my channel may say, I've never even heard of this person he's talking about. You know, let me at least take a look at their channel. And then they go look at it, and they start going back through their videos, and YouTube, for some goddamn reason, got rid of the thing where you could invert the list and look at the older videos first.
Mm-hmm.
But they could just scroll and see, wow, this guy's been on here this long making videos. Now let me check out this. Let me check out that. And a lot of the OG guys, I watch a lot of the old videos. You know, before we went live, you know, Dave, I was telling you about some of the old videos of yours I love watching. You know, yeah, you don't do those anymore, though.
The thing I really liked about the old community, when we had, and it didn't have to be, Michael usually got the creative responses going, AirFelk 77. But it had to be something in a video response. If you had a contest video where it wasn't just, hey, we're showing off our collection. We've got enough videos showing our collections off. This was, hey, I want to get you out of your comfort zone. I want you to do something a little silly, doesn't have to be me and being dumb all the time. But I mean, just something different. We had, I don't remember the contest, but it was like the hell was it? Because I remember, God, I can't recall the name of the guy I faced in like the first round.
The French Pickler. You're talking about that contest?
Yeah, because it was like when Scott did that, we all had something goofy we were doing, but it was like an NCAA tournament, and then you let it go for whatever a week, and it's like on the video, vote for whoever. I'm sending the links below. Go watch the video. Vote for as Ryan, and I can't remember. He was in Iowa, I want to say Iowa and Nebraska, somewhere down there. And it's like you're doing a dumb video, but it's for a prize. You know Michael's going to get something pretty good because he's not going to scrimp on shit. But in that sense, it's like, well, you got to do something to earn that. You can't just be like, well, give me your top 5 cards in your collection. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. If you've shown them before on video, I've probably seen them. Do something that you may not feel 100% comfortable with, but you'll get a laugh out of it, and people see a side of you they haven't seen before. And that's when it was fun. Now I feel, and again, no knock to the baseball guys, but a lot of the older than us collectors that are baseball centric, the Hall of Fame, the super vintage guys, it feels stuffy to me. It feels like a boardroom. And literally a board room. Because people want to have fun, that's fine. But for them, it just doesn't seem like the fun is a natural fun. It's like you gotta fucking take a cattle prod and like, hey, you can laugh once in a while. This isn't fucking masterpiece theater. You can fucking laugh. So I love that aspect of our old community where you get people doing stupid shit. I mean, again, if you bore yourself, you'll find a lot of it by me. You want to see shower videos? You want to see hamburger helper collections? You want to see ice bucket challenge fails? Fucking go turn back the clock. Nowadays it's not there. And again, a lot of it it's the same. It's a Department of Redundancy department. Time, kids' schedules, games. You try to portion out a block of time. Something comes up. Oh, you get called into work. Weather's horse shit. Family emergency. Just you don't have the will or the want to like. Oh, I want to make a video. No, a lot of us now it's like, if we're making videos, be happy. Because a lot of the time it's just like, fuck, I don't want to make a video now. I love it, but it's just like that energy like it used to be there 10 years ago, 12 years ago. It just isn't there. So that's what you'd hope for the new class of folks coming up. Yeah, you're going to have older folks finding YouTube or finding it through a forum or Instagram or whatever. But you'd think the younger kids dressing like they do, like they're fucking homeless, or they just don't know how to read sizes on clothing, you'd think they'd be like, okay, I look like a fool, I can act like a fool on a video. They don't. That's the problem. That's a huge problem. It's like you need to be cool. And well, if you live at home and you have a pool in your backyard and your maid's in half your videos and your clothing is from 10th grade and you're 27, 30, you're not cool. You're a dipshit. And that it manifests itself in the community. You don't have the fun like we had. Again, we had fucking tons of drama. Tons of it. But it just, they always say about the good old days. There'll never be a good old days again.
Yeah.
And that it sucks because you sit there and you're like, man, I really wish we could have done some other stuff with a lot of community members before they just went away. Because they gave up and it's like, okay, we see that going away from the valuing of knowledge from everyone. It wasn't just because you had X amount of subs. It's like Micah, again, turn the phone towards him and he's going to talk about the Twins. He's going to talk about some old Twins, Catfish Hunter, just anyone, and he's going to enjoy it. But that shit gets fucking just shit on because it's not high production. You're not showing off like a Harmon Killebrew 101 or a Puckett cut auto. It's you're talking about Ken Herbeck, Scotty Laius, people of that ilk. It's just like we appreciated or disliked. I'm not, because this is one thing where Steve and I and Michael, this film not yet rated, and we've talked about many a time. We either liked people or we didn't. And again, that was the way it was. It wasn't like, okay, you can change your mind. It's like, no. Once you entered the camp of not liking, most of the time it was tough to get through the door to the camp of being like liked. Could we sit there and be cordial? Of course. Absolutely. I mean, this isn't fucking like Beverly Hills 90210. But it's not like we're going to go out of our way to find something for somebody that either doesn't value our opinion or we don't value theirs. But I don't know. Again, more going off the tracks. I know it's a shock in this show because
another mention, just one more mention of the Snoop rant video. How many times is that now, Snoop?
I don't know. I lost count. Yeah. And you know, I had a video couple months ago where I didn't. It wasn't nowhere near like the original rant video, but I had something that was kind of pricking my skin. And a few people asked me, they were like, "Why didn't you do another rant video like you did before?" And I was like, "Because it wouldn't have been genuine." The last video, the original rant video, because I was so wrapped up in the community and, talking to people all the time in the community and emailing and all of that good stuff. And I'm like, I just had a love for the community, and this whole thing was going on with why am I not in the YouTube Hall of Fame? I said, then it truly just pissed me off, and nobody would say anything about it. So finally, I just said, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And I turned on the camera and I just started going. And it just got more intense. And the longer the camera stayed on and I started venting, the more it just opened the draft and the fuel got to the fire until I had to start to kind of govern myself some because I was going to go off even more about other stuff. And, the other video I did that was kind of a rant, and it wouldn't have came off the same. I didn't have the intensity over the problem the same way. Then if something gets under my skin again, yeah, there will be another rant video.
The 2-hour, 10-minute mark, Xavier dropped the first F-bomb. It finally happened.
Oh, Maiko, the boat is doing fine. It's in my driveway.
I've been waiting to be able to at least call out the timing of the first F-bomb.
Oh, if I knew that, I would have been dropped them.
Just trying to express the fact that there is nothing off limits. This is Dave. We're talking about Dave. Dave drops enough F-bombs for all of us times 2 or 3 at times. And depending on the subject matter, then there's me, because I have been known to get on my soapbox, courtesy of Vinny allowing me to extend the soapbox on occasion. I've had my moments as well.
I give all my F-bombs to Dave.
You let him
man won't appreciate them.
I've gotten close. I've gotten close a few times to having you slip.
This is true.
One of these days it's going to happen unintentionally, but it's going to slip. But no, something Ed mentioned earlier. Am I supposed to know what that means?
I'll give Ed the initials.
Oh,
you can figure it out from there.
Okay. But Ed mentioned it, and we've talked about this before too. If you screwed up in the past, you were gone. Period. End of conversation. You may have still collected and everything else, but as far as the community was concerned, you were gone. Nowadays, people can screw up 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and yet everything's still copacetic. All good. And I don't get it.
I'm not even going down that path.
I won't either. We've talked about it on multiple occasions on the show in great length and detail. It's interesting to me how people turn a blind eye more days than what it used to be like. And well, like Dave alluded to,
that's why we have
go ahead.
Radio.
That's true. But back in the day, that thumbs down was a thing, folks.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody had their haters.
Yep.
I had a hater for a time, and it's like it cracked me up, because it's like you still had to take time at least out of your day to click on my video to hit the thumbs down button. Are you that petty to where I've done something or gotten under your skin or whatever? You know what? At the end of the day, I win, because you are making an effort to click on my video and click the thumbs down button. Thank you. But what people fail to realize, and we've talked about this too, and I know Carlos has brought it up many a times, it doesn't matter thumbs up or thumbs down. It's called engagement.
Yep.
this podcast could get 15,000 thumbs down, and it would do the same if we got 1,500 thumbs up. The same thing would go into play as it pertains to the algorithm. So people just don't get it.
Identical.
Name that movie. Quick. Anybody?
I don't have to. It's in my name.
Oh, I know what the movie is. My Cousin Vinny.
Harry Potter.
No.
What's that movie, Dave? The Final Sacrifice.
That's like the Instant Revolution podcast every day.
Yeah, sacrifice to the content gods.
No, that's dumpster fire. Let's get it right.
You kind of glossed over something a little earlier, I guess about an hour back. Dave's coming to National.
We all are.
Well, I don't know about Brad yet. We hadn't asked, but the three of us are definitely.
Oh shit!
Yeah. The cancellations just went up across the
What, Dave's going? Oh shit, I'm not going this year.
Yeah, I gotta find Dave when we get there.
Oh, I'll be easy to find. Don't worry about that.
Oh no, see, it'll be easier for you to find me. I'll be like a fly on the damn wall. You'll catch that reference later. It'll be easy for you to find me. I mean, seriously, because when I was at CSA, one guy was like, "How am I going to be able to find you?" I said, "Dude, I'm a 275 plus pound black guy that's 6'4" tall that's not signing autographs. How damn hard do you think it's going to be to not find me?"
We'll just have Bob look over all the booths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, who was it that I was watching? Was that Don Field of Dreams who made like a collage video of all the people that he met last year?
Yep.
Yeah,
that guy's fucking tall.
They stayed together, I think, in that flop house.
Because I want to say he was taller than Bob.
Yeah, I think so. Because I mean, you look and Bob's about 8'2". I think Don's got 8'4" on him. So one's George Murish, one's Manute Bol. So
right. So there you go. Mike-O has confirmed. Yeah, but no offense, Mike. You're kind of short to a lot of folks, aren't you? There, my friend.
Spud Webb is tall in that way.
No disrespect, Mike.
Just appreciation.
But I'm pretty sure everybody is tall in your world. No offense. Oh, there goes the thumbs down on the video.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a thumbs down?
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I can't see this. I mean, all I see on this end is mute, stop cam settings, and whatever the hell it is.
No, I only see the likes on YouTube. So anytime you see the actual IRP commenting, that's me from the YouTube channel.
Oh. I was wondering who that was.
Yeah, YouTube doesn't show the thumbs down anyways. It's you can thumbs down the video, but you don't get a count.
No.
I don't think. I've never bothered to look even in the analytics if it even shows anymore.
Oh.
Which I think is stupid because I know one of them. When was it? Last year? It was right before they changed the policy, and you could still thumbs down. And we kept telling everybody to thumbs down the video, and I think that one had like 12 or 13 thumbs down or something like that.
See, you guys are primarily
we asked for
football collectors. This is my newest football card. I just got in.
We're going old school.
Yep. Top 100.
Is that a rookie, Xavier?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do the 100 in rookies, but
Okay.
that's a damn sure a marathon, not a sprint. Because some of those guys is ridiculous. And just like anything else with collecting, whether it's baseball, hockey, football, it doesn't matter. It's a marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely not running out like some of these guys and putting this shit on my damn credit card.
Okay.
Yeah, credit cards
come-
reserved for fishing.
Come
Need to
on,
find that
man.
money tree.
Yeah, that's what we keep trying to figure out.
The money tree.
Yeah, we think there's one located somewhere up in Alaska somewhere, but that's the only one
Bering
that
Strait.
Yeah,
that's one that we are aware of.
I was listening to Dave and over fertilized mine, and mine's dead in the backyard now.
Well, to a degree, we were having discussions early on, back in the early days of the IRP, of allegedly harvesting kidneys. That was on the list of things to potentially leverage in funding collections. And
That's not a
for the
common
record,
card.
I
That's
said
a
allegedly.
Allegedly a 7 kidney card.
Oh,
I did say allegedly.
I wanted to ask you, Steve, because I knew you didn't care too much for a lot of the relic stuff in cards. What do you think about?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Player worn relics.
Ah, okay.
Game used. I've got plenty. I've got plenty. So it's the player worn stuff that I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, I wish they did better authentication, but then that would let a lot of people know that the cards they're buying aren't really material from the player that they think it's from. Mm-hmm. I saw a oh shit, who was it for the Nats? Damn it, I can't even read the name tag. Anyway, it was a Panini National Treasures RPA rookie patch auto, and it was a big chunky part of the nameplate for the guy. And I figured out, looking at that and looking at the back of the jersey, that the nameplate was not from him, but from one of the guys who was damn near a bat boy. The guy had only played like 3 games all season, and that's who the nameplate was actually from, because the letters didn't match up. Victor Robles, that's who it was. And nowhere in Robles could you have made out this part that they had in there. And then I kept going and going. I'm like, that's this guy's nameplate. Yeah, somebody else's.
Hey, and I was actually right about that, Ed, because I said of the 3 guys to buy Joe Burrow. That was the only one I told people to buy.
How surprising. Brad was right about football.
No. None of us would have ever suspected
Never.
that.
Hold on. Brad, you mean you don't take advice from, what's it, sports investor guy or whoever you
Talking about sports card investor?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, he seems pretty smart, but no, I don't.
Right. He said invest in Will Greer.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, these people don't even watch the games. It's like, you don't know. Like, he never even saw Will Greer play, I bet you, even in college.
Well, I think he was calculating on he had a bigger audience than he thought. Just kind of algorithm watching, where he could tell people, he could go buy a bunch of cards, tell people, hey, I think you should invest in this guy. And knowing people are going to go buy it, then he can sell it when it peaks in the market. Just pump and dump it.
Well, I think his expectation is Carolina was looking for a starting quarterback. And because they drafted Will Greer, they felt as though he was going to be like the future main starter for them. And let's face it, when teams draft quarterbacks, that's kind of what the expectation is. Teams don't normally draft quarterbacks to be bench warmers. They're drafting some of them, yes, like later round quarterbacks. I mean, that's the whole purpose of it. You need depth at quarterback, but you draft, up to the third round, fourth round normally, outside of Brady and Purdy and a few others. You're drafting for a future starter. I mean, that's the whole point, right? So Carolina drafting Greer, the expectation was that he was supposed to be like the future starter and was going to be, the next best thing to ever happen to Carolina.
No,
but yet, nobody took into consideration the Cardinals did the same thing in Kyler Murray, and Kyler Murray, he still has his faults. He still has areas of opportunity to improve, but he's not a bad quarterback. But I don't follow college ball a whole lot, but I would have never in a million years put that combination together thinking that Will Grier would be 4 times better an investment than Kyler Murray.
I love that comment.
Oh,
God. And that's a good possibility, Steve. That's a good possibility. Let's not take that for granted, though, Steve. Kurt Warner came from Kroger, Walmart, wherever the hell grocery store, and became one of the better quarterbacks of the 2000s, best quarterbacks of the 2000s. So
you're saying for me there's still a chance?
No, Dave, you're past your prime. You're past your prime.
And did you see Dumb and Dumber?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying there's still a chance.
His hockey video had to be the most cringeworthy hockey video I've ever seen on YouTube. When he mispronounced, it wasn't Patrick Waugh, it was somebody else. He just murdered the name. I'm like, what am I watching here? And then the guy goes, I don't recognize, there was another video. I don't recognize Patrick Waugh. I didn't know he played for the Canadians. You don't say. Patrick Waugh played for the Canadians. I'm shocked. I thought he only played for the Avalanche. Never knew it. Never knew it. I had to call Dave.
Yeah.
Did you know Patrick Waugh played for the Montreal Canadiens?
I was shocked too.
It was before the hobby started, so we might not have known. It was, in the 80s. There was no hobby then.
Yeah. But doesn't Ovi play for the Penguins?
Yeah.
I thought so.
He would have got drafted by the Penguins if there wasn't all that scuttlebutt. There was almost 2 alpha males on that team. That's one of the long-standing questions. What would have happened if they
stopped tapping, Vinny?
If there was no strike in 04-05? What would have been the choice?
Ovi loves DC.
Yep, he'll never leave.
Nope.
Of course, my favorite is that one down there.
Yeah, that's another good one.
It just goes to show you that when people are reading a script and let's face it, we all make mistakes. We've all said something incorrectly, inadvertently, on accident, whatever. We try and course correct and fix the pronunciation or whatever the error is. At least a lot of us try. But if you're sitting there reading the script and you know that freaking Bo Bichette does not play for the freaking Los Angeles Dodgers, why in the world would you not correct it before saying it?
It could have been an intern having some fun.
It's possible, but, at the same time, they have X number of employees or whatever it is. I'm sure that person got fired if that's the case.
They're an intern. They weren't getting paid any damn way. What you care?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, when you're an intern, you're not getting paid. You're laughing your ass off. You did that on purpose. So I'm gonna fire you. Well, fuck you. You weren't paying me any goddamn way. What I care? I'm here to have some fun. Get a credit.
Oh, I forgot PSA collectors hockey video. Oh, Paul, I forgot about that travesty. Good God Almighty, that was painful too. Now, if the great curator Paul would do a hockey video about his great experience at the expo, now that's good TV, Paul. That's good TV.
Of course, we can't forget about those Prism black Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Gotta give me a black Phoenix.
I think Bob still doesn't know the reference from Christmas episode about the black Phoenix, where he said, "I just wasted 13 minutes of my life." So I got him a card numbered to 13 that said, "Here's your 13 minutes back in card form." I'm still thinking he's trying to figure that one out.
Yeah, that would be that. That has to do with watching a 13-minute video, of course, and realizing that. I know we poke fun at people, but there's something like that. FINITE. That's
Here
not
was
an
the good
unusual. It's not an unusual term. Infinite. Maybe that's why they thought it was. I don't know, but
here was the one I forgot to send you guys today. 2008-09 Upper Deck SP Authentic Hollow FX. Refractor-like insert. Refractor-like.
Oh, so now, you know what? Hey, I'll at least say they said refractor-like and just
Yeah, I'll give them some credit because they are refractor-like, but.
So, Xavier, I got to ask.
Yeah.
Only because Vinny brought this up. What is your opinion? And Brad, then I'll turn it over to you just because you're, What is your opinion on people who use incorrect terminology when describing a card as far as the technology being used?
I think it's funny, to be honest. I think it's real funny because I read a lot of eBay stuff, and actually, I get some great fucking deals because people, one, can't spell, and two, they don't know really what they're putting down. So I get some ridiculous goddamn deals. I mean, granted, I search for them. It's not like, you find these deals every day, but on card videos, if I can sit there and laugh at it, I'm probably going to watch another video to see if they're going to do it again. I don't know. I guess I'm just cynical like that. But as far as like selling stuff on like Facebook groups and all of that, I think that's just hilarious.
As do we. We poke fun of it frequently.
Yeah.
If you were to ask me the question if it would bother me, I would have told you no. But I have found when I watch videos, I find myself like correcting them, like, not actually typing it in. So I'm like, I think it does bother me, and I didn't even realize.
Well, believe it or not, it happens a ton on Instagram. A ton.
Yes.
I'll periodically stumble across something, when I'm doing my Terrell Davis searches, and I'll send it to our little group chat that we have. Bob comes across some doozies. Bob comes across some freaking doozies. And it's like you, Xavier, I have a tendency to laugh. I mean, I really do. It's, but on the flip side, it almost like I want to educate. I want to teach some of these people, it's like, folks, just because you're so used to the newer stuff and the use of the term, because you hear the term refractor is designated to top products.
Right.
Anything outside of that is not a refractor.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a hollow, it could be a prism, whatever, but it is not a refractor. And because a lot of times refractors fetch some big bucks because, you know, they don't make them anymore, at least not right now from the football perspective. Top still does them, or because of the Fanatics acquisition, but Top still does them, so they're still out there. But they pull a premium because of the name. But just because it has refractor-like qualities doesn't mean it's a refractor. And there's a part of me who wants to educate people, but the issue is people don't want to be educated because they get insulted.
Hey, ignorance is bliss. You got to remember that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
No, 100%. There was a time Dave messaged somebody on Instagram. And in his Dave way, but he wasn't being a dick. He was not being a dick. He was just trying to inform and correct the nomenclature that was being used in the post. And the dude got fucking offended and was like, oh, this freaking guy, like the Instagram police. No, dude, you're a fucking moron. It's not a freaking refractor. It's from 2018 or something. They didn't make refractors in football. Shut up. So,
yeah, you know what I'm still hoping out for. I don't know what you guys' opinion is on this. I am hoping Fanatics buys Panini America for the simple reason of letting Topps produce stuff, letting Panini produce stuff. On the baseball side, giving Panini, hey, you're under our umbrella, use logos. Topps, you're still a separate company. You can make football and basketball stuff now. Use the logos. We're all under the same umbrella, but you're still in competition with each other. And have some kind of thing where they say, okay, the winning company's going to get, I don't know, a fucking paid vacation or something or whatever. But get some competition back because, god damn, the baseball side, Topps is lazy as shit. They're as lazy as time is long. But you look at Panini products, they're innovative with the photographs, the colors. It's simple, it's basic, but yet it's dynamic. And if they had logos on their products, it would be just fucking phenomenal. And, you know, Topps has been dying to get back into football. Well, now they're going to be back. Are they going to crap the tank just like they're doing with baseball? Or are they going to press some new innovative stuff out there? Or try to come up with something, and I know all you guys remember this, Upper Deck Black. God damn, I missed that product.
UD Black was beautiful.
Thank you. Yes. Come up with something similar to that that's innovative and beautiful, and everybody's going to want it instead of the crap that's coming out now.
The problem is, though, they're starting to dip too deep in the well. They're bringing back past insert sets and things along that. So the innovation is dying. Let's face it.
Well, there's no competition.
That's part of the problem. Is when one company produces one sport, there is no need for competition. You don't have to get innovative and creative. You can dip into the well consistently and bring shit back. And for those people who didn't collect in the 90s, they're like, oh, I hear about all this 90s shit. Well, I can't afford this. Now I'm going to go after the new stuff, which then spikes the old stuff. Well, for us 90s guys, it freaking sucks.
Yeah. And, you know, like when because we're all roughly the same age in our 40s, you know, when we were getting rookies and like the Canseco rookie, you had to choose Topps, Donruss, Fleer, and what was the other one? Score. That was it. There was only 4 rookies you could possibly get at max until Upper Deck came out. You know, then you had 5 you could possibly get. There were no parallels. There were no other things to go. It was 5 damn cards.
Simple times.
Yeah, then, as it progressed a little bit into the 90s, yeah, you had Pinnacle added to the set. You had Upper Deck, then you had a bunch of other stuff going into it. You had Studio and all of this. And by the time you get to like Trout and you say, I want a Trout rookie, well, which one? Are you getting the base rookie? Are you getting the update rookie? Oh, no, I want the, I don't know, one of the other rookie parallel autographs. And now, I forgot the player. I looked him up. He has, I think it wasn't Aaron Judge, but he had like almost 6,000 rookie cards. Hey, that's stupid. By the time you include the parallels, the inserts, the base, all of this, and that's just primarily tops. 6,000 rookies is insane. It's stupid.
That's why I feel for anybody who collects any of these newer rookies from 2017 ish and newer.
Oh.
Good luck. Good luck
Thanks,
being a
Carlos.
super collector.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck being a super collector, just for the simple fact that it's beyond stupid.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It has gone to the extreme. And let's face it, it's a money grab. That's all these manufacturers give a shit nowadays. It's the money grab.
Yeah,
And
and
that's just
I have no problem with grading, but when you've got like Soto, 25,000 PSA 10s are out there. Hey, everybody's got a PSA 10 Soto rookie now.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have one, which I don't have one because I don't want one, I can go buy one whenever I want. I can find them anywhere.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about it now.
oversaturation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oversaturation across the board.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, though, I would like to see, hell, give Leaf a goddamn the rights to use logos. They'll spur some competition between them. The competitiveness in the 90s is what's missing. The Donruss Elites, God, from like 99, 2000, 2001s, they're fucking amazing cards. I love those cards. And
Leaf certified.
Yeah. Some of the Pinnacle, with all the die cut stuff Pinnacle used to do. It was so innovative because everybody had to compete for that hobby dollar. Mm-hmm. So you had to come up with stuff and be innovative. Now, Topps is like, I'm the only one with logos. You buy this or you don't buy shit.
Yeah.
What are you showing, Vinny?
Donruss. From back in the day. I don't know if you could pick up the shine, but they don't make cards like that.
Top shelf.
Refractor like.
Yep. Refractor like. And numbered to 2000.
Remember how hard it was to pull a card to 2000 back then?
They're still not cheap. I think I paid $15 for that one. I'm putting a set together.
I remember, I don't remember specifically the time, but I had acquired a TD collection from a guy who was getting out of the hobby. And this was probably 4 or 5 years ago. And in the collection had from 97 Playoff Zone, one of the gold parallels numbered to 5.
Wow.
Okay, so this from 97. And I had to take the time and the opportunity to express and explain that numbered to 5 in 1997 is like pulling a 101 in like 2015. Mm-hmm. They're a dime a dozen. Now, 101s, nowadays are like a dime a dozen. But what they don't understand is how difficult it was to pull something numbered to 5 in 97, let alone like a 101, because there weren't many in 97. Pinnacle printing plates were about the only thing that I can think of. And I don't think I've ever seen one personally from 97. But trying to compare stuff from then to now, people can't, they don't understand the characterization or the classification of any of it. 97 Skybox Premium, rubies, beautiful fucking cards, serial numbered to 50. That's like pulling something numbered to 5 nowadays, or a 101.
Mm-hmm.
And people can't, they can't, like, it's like they can't grasp the concept. I opened probably well over a case of that shit. I pulled one ruby, one. That's it. So putting that into perspective of the shit nowadays, people can't, it's like, you see stuff being pulled to 10 and 15 and 20 and 25 all day long. It's like, and that's only because everything's freaking overproduced. But, you know, that's another topic of conversation, which we've talked about before too. So Dave, 246, anything else we want to cover off on the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame before we kind of wrap this one up?
We could ask if anybody's ever been to a ranch.
Been to where?
A ranch.
I've been to a ranch.
Or when's the last time you burned some 2020 tops? We can ask that.
Just for you, Dave, I'm going to burn some 91 triple play.
Well, don't put a video on YouTube and then take it off after people give you negative feedback, because
there's no thumbs down button anymore. We're good.
Well,
they can pays attention to the comments.
There it is. I mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
I mentioned it earlier.
I don't know if anybody's still watching. Still, get out and vote. Even if it's just people. Again, the channels you respect. You've heard us all talk the whole show. Just vote. It doesn't. Mine was what, a 3-minute video. Eric for the cards basically just had a note card with names on there. I saw Wade Boggs fan. He had a longer one. I've gotten away from that because only I'm going to give you channels. Go there yourself. Go check them out yourself. Watch a few videos. If you like them, hey, great. If you don't, hey, great.
Yeah, I got out the habit of telling people to subscribe.
Yeah, if you're voting for somebody for a Hall of Fame, there's obviously some reason. So if you really want to find out, take 2 minutes out of your day, watch a video, watch a couple, and then figure it out. So that's why it's just like, nah, I don't need to tell everybody that this guy does this or that guy does that or this channel brings this to the table. Doing over the top or under the table, whatever the special videos I do, and get a couple chuckles and move it on, because a lot of people take it seriously and it shouldn't be. A patch is cool, but I can go to Goodwill and find a jacket with patches on it too, and have to make a video. So take that. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. I think we pretty much covered. I'm sure there'll be something I'll think of later, but most of it, I think we've covered. Just, we could always go like, who shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, but I guess that'd be a different episode. I'll give you this, because this is something that I don't like, and I've seen it with a few. And then the old guard would get upset because I'd bring it up, because you get in. I know Jason was on the other night with Steve, Purple GT, and again, you could tell he was pushing towards the Hall of Fame a couple years ago. He's going live every day, jumping in people's streams, doing this, that. Hey, I've nothing wrong with that. Whatever you want to do, whatever you got to do. How do you feel about like people when they get in, pretty much, I won't say ghosting the community, but they're ghosting the community. You get in, and if you've got a reason, whatever it may be, sort of say, hey, this is sort of a not a signing off video, but it's might be a little more limited content. Like, hey, I got some family issues. I got money's tight or whatever. Car just broke down. House, there's a flood or something, a tornado. I just don't have love for cards anymore. How do you feel about people just fucking, hey, yeah, I'm in the Hall of Fame now. I pushed all the way and then just started saying, well, see you later.
Yeah. There's a lot in there like that. I'm not, well, one, you know, I think it's kind of wrong to even accept it, especially if you know you're going to stop making videos or slow down, or you only did it just to get that recognition. But like, I slowed down a lot, but I had a lot of other things going on in life. And I even said that in the several videos I made during that time. Hey, look, guys, and even now I'm pushing to try to get 2 videos out a week because I work a full-time job, and then I had not a goddamn thing else better to do. My wife and I started started a business. So when I leave one job, I'm basically going to another full-time damn job. And I just got back into tournament fishing again this year. So I got like 3 damn jobs I'm trying to do full-time and make YouTube videos. But my thing was different because I made videos at least once a month saying, I'm sorry, but a lot of shit's going on in my life right now. I have to slow down with the videos. They'll pick back up, but for now it's going to be slow. Mm-hmm. One of the people, he basically ghosted. He's got another channel where he collects coins.
Okay.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. I really think it would be pretty cool if people just said, hey, life is going on. I just don't have the time anymore like I used to. That was it. But if you worked hard to get there and you finally get it, and then you're like, I got it. I can't do a damn thing else. And then just ghost. To each their own.
Yeah. Brad, since you've had a lot of words in this episode.
Yeah, well, first off, I don't get it. Because, like, I've been into cards my whole adult life, and I've never taken a break from it. Now, you can take a break from buying, because you don't have money. But I don't get people who just ghost for 4 years and don't have anything to do with it when they enjoy it. I'm like, you don't have to buy stuff to enjoy it. You still enjoy the videos. I never got that. So I never understood that part, because some of the old guys, they love it when they come back for a little bit. They do. They love doing it. And I'm like, you realize you don't have to buy something every week to enjoy it. Like, all of us go through 3-month stretches or 6-month stretch where you just don't have money to buy stuff sometimes, right? That doesn't mean you can't still enjoy the community aspect of it. That's what I don't get. Like, so I never got those people. Like, and I also say, for the most part, you have time for what you want to make time for. That's what I always tell you. Like, you want to make time to do it, you will make time to do it. All right?
Yeah.
This is the way it is. But like I said, I get that, you're always going to have little patches where you're not as involved. But I don't get these people who ghost for years at a time when it's something they enjoy doing. I never understood it. I can't quite get in the mindset of that.
Yeah, especially when you enjoy doing it.
Exactly. Yeah, and they do. They enjoy the hell out of it, but then they just ghost.
And then when I was only, because I was doing videos twice, 3 times a week, and then I had to slow down because of life. Oh, that's when my mail really stacked up because I was constantly buying. I was finding stuff and bid now. And every day I was coming home, there was another package in the mailbox.
I have no comment. Actually, I do to a degree, and only speaking from even like my perspective. So I get it. Like when I've gone on hiatus per se, I've still interacted with people.
Right.
I still would watch videos. I may not comment, but I would still watch videos. I would still text, things along those lines. So to a degree, I was still quote unquote involved.
Mm-hmm.
But as Snoop said, sometimes life happens. Adulting sucks, and there was a time in my life in which every time I turned around, something bad was happening. Grandfather passed, wife lose job, kid gets diagnosed with epilepsy. I mean, just to name a few.
Mm-hmm.
And in those situations, it's like YouTube was my escape from watching videos and things along those lines. And I still picked up stuff from time to time, but I still interacted with people via text message because I built those friendships, those relationships to where it's like wanting to keep people in the loop of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So let's face it, we're all grown people. For those of us who actually adult and pay bills and have a job and things along those lines, shit gets in the way sometimes. And there's people out there that sit there and be like, well, it only takes a few minutes to make a video. Well, depending on your situation, your living situation, if you have kids who are active in sports, whatever, sometimes it's not always easy to find a few minutes to make a damn video.
Yeah.
And I don't care what anybody says. Sometimes it is not easy to make a video. Maybe for them, but not for everybody. So you have to look at everybody's situation individually. And so I think it kind of sucks though. You get in and kind of disappear, so to speak. Whether it be no longer card related, but at the same time, we don't always know people's circumstance. So I'm always willing to give somebody the benefit of the doubt. But like you had alluded to, Dave, it's one of those in which say something, let people know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you care so much about the community and what it's about, then let people know. Don't just go up and like poof off into the sunset without any rhyme, reason, explanation. And I'm not calling out anybody specifically either, because there are quite a few in the Hall of Fame that they've literally like rode off into the sunset. So, but yeah, it's to each their own. I hate using that phrase, but to each their own. Or on the flip side, as we always say here, it is what it is. Baz has got a great idea. Hall of Trolls. I like that. I nominate Baz as the commissioner. Start working on it. Anyways, we are coming up on the 3-hour mark. Wow, it's been a while since we've hit the 3-hour mark, which is always a good accomplishment. But great guests, great conversation. Yes, Ghost. No, we didn't talk. No national tips just yet, Mark. Those will be coming as we get closer.
Yeah. Tip: wear flip flops.
I will be wearing sandals.
Sandals?
Yep. I know you're waiting for like a punchline.
No,
He's just going to be wearing sandals.
Yeah, they're the Keen brand that being on my feet all day at work. I wear the sandals there, and they are magic, especially
Yes,
for a man
wow.
with my carriage. That I've tried
Yeah.
I've tried Nike, I've tried Reebok. They just fall apart for shoes, and everything Keen I've worn has been beyond what I could ask for comfortability and durability. Again, you're carrying around a healthy chunk of an individual, so if they don't split out like I'm working on Swiss cake rolls right away, I'm good. So
Yeah. Oh, you know what, Stoff? Instead of that, I remember Dave had brought up something earlier about when the East Bay catalog used to come. Get you a pair of British Nikes and wear BKs to national.
or LA Gear, one of the two. It doesn't matter. You won't go wrong.
Anyways.
Yeah, there no national tips.
Not yet. Not yet.
That's going to be fun though, because there's like very few things I'm even going for this year. I remember my first year, I had a long list of stuff I wanted, and now it's like 2 main cards, 3 things autographed. That's it. I just want to hang out with the people again. That was the most fun. And here, actually, Stoff, here's a tip, a real tip, no joke. Bring something for everyone to sign so that you can have a memory of the people you met. One of the coolest things was JMVP brought a baseball, and everyone, he was like, hey, sign the baseball, sign the baseball. And, you know, when I was hanging out with him and Nate and Pepino and Yankees cards, we were all in the motel, and we were all just looking at the baseball like, yeah, I checked out his channel. Yeah, I checked out his channel and all of that. It was so cool. Bring something for people to sign.
I got to sign underwear the last time, so that's memorable.
Yeah, Pepino did have the underwear.
Has anybody heard from Yankees cards? He disappeared off the face of the earth. I used to enjoy watching his stuff.
You know what? I'm gonna have to find out if he's coming back. He had some stuff going on, you know, kind of personal life, and yeah, he just disappeared. But I messaged him, and then he got a new phone, and he's on Facebook every now and then.
Well, as long as he's alive and breathing, that's good to hear.
Yeah,
I used to watch his stuff all the time because he was building that wall of Yankees players, and he was putting those Judge rainbows together. And he's just a real dude, and I used to enjoy watching him. And he was an arm wrestler, and he was a different kind of guy. And he's the kind of guy that you were looking at a card. What do you need? Oh, I'm $50 short. He'd hand you the $50 to buy the card so you could get it. He just seemed like that kind of dude. So just enjoyed watching him. Jerome, yeah. So couldn't remember his first name.
Sorry, I was reading Baseball Carmageddon's tip for Dave. Dave, you should really show up in some friggin' wooden clogs. Hell yeah.
Let's not give Dave any more ideas.
I already have my wife preparing a bailout fund for him. Might have to put up my damn house.
No, I'm hoping he wears wooden clogs That way I can see him kind of limping around, and I'm like, dude, what's wrong with you? I got a fucking splinter in my goddamn toe.
It won't just be the feet. It'll be the legs. It'll fucking be the stomach, because I weigh a metric ton, and that stomach just sort of takes all the forward momentum that fucks up my back. I'll be like, oh my God. You'll see a guy with a walker and a fanny pack. You're like, who the fuck is that? And I'll look up and I'm like, oh Christ, what the hell is this? Then I'll do your Hulk Hogan. I'll be like, it's the fanny pack flex, brother. Oh,
there you go.
Oh. Yeah.
This has been fun.
We've never heard that before.
Most of the time, hey, thanks for having me on. Oh, where's that end button? Oh, my internet connection went out. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
That's only happened once, Dave. And that wasn't surprising either for said individual with the connection issues, because that was known to be a problem for him. Oh shit!
That's gonna be the fun of hanging out with Dave there, Ed. Is Ed, when he's going to looking at some of those prices, just asking the dealers, "Hey, what the fuck is your problem? Did you realize it's 2023?"
Somebody just needs to walk around with the camera on Dave the entire time.
Yes.
Talk about freaking national content. There you go, man.
C can follow him with a GoPro.
There you go.
Oh.
She might have to have headphones on, because it's good. If I see Team Schmedium or fucking Humac clothes, motherfuckers are gonna get lit up.
C, earmuffs. Your Uncle Dave's at it again.
Yeah, that's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. My hands are in that position now from now on. I can't take them off. Yeah, that's it. It's always one of those where you're excited, but you're also nervous, because, again, you don't know if these people have been smoking their own stash, so what fucking pricing they've got. Because, again, I need to get the return on it. I need to get my money back. Well, it doesn't work that way, fucker. I mean, come on now. You buy a fucking whatever, a 63 Mustang back in 63. Well, I'll give you your $2,000 for it. Well, no, it's worth more now. Oh, I'm just giving you your money back. Come on, that's how it works, right? So, and like you, and I know we've talked a little bit about it too, and as the time draws near, again, because we'll be, I think, more excited for National than any of us have been in a couple that way ever, because that'll be their maiden voyage over there. I haven't been to one since 2011, so it'll be fun. But I don't think we really have, like you, Xavier. We have lists. I mean, there's stuff in our minds that if we see, hey, good deals only, all that shit. But it's gonna be more of the, hey, whatever happens upon us. No matter who it is, if it's a Terrell Davis, well, hell, it's a Steve Young out of that same set that I can get for X amount of dollars, and it's going to be cheap. Maybe I'll get that, Steve says to himself, just to have a not a placeholder, but the example. But yeah, it's just stuff that we're going there for the people first and foremost, and then food will be second.
Well, hold on. Yeah, food second. Okay.
Cards will be third. So
now see, I was making sure with the food, because you guys aren't going to see me at the after parties when everybody's suddenly showing up, because I'm driving from Virginia, and when it's time to eat, I'm going somewhere other than this goddamn bar food. Last time I showed up late, and everyone was like, "Oh man, you missed this. Where were you at?" I was like, "Dude, I went to this steakhouse and had a goddamn steak that you could cut with a spoon.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Chicago-style seasonings. You wouldn't believe it. Baked potato, everything. Oh, I had some bar food. Fuck that. I can get bar food anytime.
Yep. I think we're all in the same boat that I don't go, again, and this has been Facebook when I was on there, it'd be the fattening tour. I'm not going to fucking McDonald's to have a fattening tour. That's my deathbed. That's the fucking like the wake. I don't need to go to a Ruth Chris steakhouse. I want to have some money left for if I find a card. But we will go to like a Giordano's. We'll go to Ed's favorite restaurant, Portobello's. We're gonna go pizza joints. If there's chicken joints, fucking just stuff that it's good food. Stick to your fucking ribs food, not bullshit that makes you hit the toilet 10 minutes after you fucking ate it.
See, that's one of the cool things is my wife lived in Chicago right after she graduated college. I think she lived there for like 5 or 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So she knows and she still has tons of friends there. And they're telling us about all these places we got to hit, next time we come back up. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I mean, one of them is, we hit it last time. I forgot the name of the place, but it's the home of the butter burger, where they mix the butter in with the ground beef when they fry it up, and then they put the butter on the bun when they warm the buns up on the griddle, and then they put a little bit of butter on the outside of the bun when they make the whole thing. Oh, it's fucking amazing. It'll clog your arteries up quick as shit, but goddamn, it's good.
And the thing I'm thinking of doing, and again, it's going to be a fucking hit if I don't somehow get into the precious YouTube Hall of Fame this year, that might seal me for the next year. I might bring down my ingredients to fucking make my chili. And that motherfucking shit, that will turn your life around quick, because it's the baddest chili you've ever fucking had before.
We got a full kitchen, Dave. We got full kitchens.
That's the thing. That's what I thought about. I'm like, okay, I can do a little cooking. I love cooking. So, not that I want to do it there, because I know we'll all be fucking just absolutely destroyed, tired, but it's like...
Yeah, Cullivers. Yeah, Stoff and Cardmageddon got. Yeah, dude, that place had the crinkle fries and shit. That was awesome. And they were right beside my motel. So, and Target sold alcohol, which was right on the other end of the parking lot. So I could walk out there and get as drunk as I damn well pleased, and then went over to Cullivers and get something to eat.
I'm just focused on Rick's comment. Beer's on him.
Oh boy, that's gonna be a hefty bill, but how is everybody gonna get back to where we're going? Because we're the top row of this panel, and one YouTube Hall of Famer that allegedly would be impeached at some point in time. We're staying about, I think, an hour out. That's why I asked you, Xavier, where you guys were staying, you and your wife, because you were saying,
yeah,
somewhere within like 10 minutes of the show.
Oh yeah. I think driving there, it took us like maybe 3 minutes to get there, 4 minutes.
Okay.
It wasn't that far. And it was so many people at the hotel that was going to the show that they started running, I think, a bus over from the hotel over there to the show, a shuttle service.
Oh, believe me, that's gonna happen. I don't. prior to Xavier mentioned a couple times that I may or may not have passed air in a video. It's gonna be the same there. I don't give a fuck who's around. There's no care when I pass air. You better hope it doesn't smell, because there's some. Or nobody's lighting a cigarette. So, Steve, I'd recommend not lighting a match or a lighter, just to be on the safe side.
No deviled eggs to be consumed at all.
Those bring a platter to the fucking National, or have like a little cooler with deviled eggs in there.
Get you some 7-Eleven sushi. That should interrupt your
or
system as well.
Or those 7-Eleven nachos.
Oh, that's the food where Mark said, "Yeah, talking about food, and I don't want to shit that." You're just finishing chewing the last bite, and already you're like, that's trouble. Chili for me, it'll last a while, like a half hour or so.
Yeah, see what got started talking about National.
It happens frequently.
Yeah, I heard that they're considering bringing National back. Talk about Atlantic City was a mess. They're considering bringing National back to another shithole city, Baltimore.
Oof.
Yeah.
That last one there was 2010, I think, because that was where a lot of the YouTubers first met up. Because I remember that, like, Danny was down there, Chris, Michael, I think Scott. I mean, there was a ton of Everett, Manny. But yeah, Baltimore, I don't know. If Adam Jones, not Pac-Man, or the Pac-Man or Pac-Men of YouTube fame, were there, yeah, I'd go watch an Orioles game, or Cal Ripken, or Billy Ripken.
I run to Baltimore for work. I mean, I don't live near. I drive to Richmond, then I have to drive to Baltimore. I go to Baltimore quite regularly for work. Bit of advice: stay in that little goddamn Inner Harbor area. Do not go venturing outside of that shit. Of course, some people I know, especially since I'll probably be renting a car and I don't give a fuck because I'll pay the $5 a day for insurance. I'm going to show them the real Baltimore down Pennsylvania Avenue and some of the streets and stuff, and they can see people doing this thing called the Baltimore Lean, which I don't know what kind of drug it is, but they do it, and they're walking and they just stop and they just lean. Yeah. You see them on the park benches, leaned over like they're getting ready to fall, but forward. They just won't fall. Yeah. It's nicknamed the Baltimore Lean. I forgot what drug it is. It's rampant in that city. You'll see someone like in mid-step. They look like, remember the 70s Keep On Trucking guy? Where they're leaned way out like that. And yeah, they're just frozen in time.
Yeah, for our senior trip, we went to DC in high school, and I don't even remember where our hotel was. I mean, it was long enough ago where people could make homemade explosives in said hotel room, and they had the windows that would actually open and throw them out. I partook in a shower, and I said, I don't want any part of this. You guys are in our room, but do that now. That's not a good situation. But we had a bus driver that was, he was an odd duck. And he got the bus stuck in the parking garage one time. And then we ended up like basically going through the ghetto of DC. And I'm looking out, and again, northern Minnesota, you've seen Minneapolis, and it's like, okay, you see a little, I'm like, there's a movie theater, and there's just like people laying on the sidewalk, okay. And then you see them shooting up, and I'm like, okay. And then you see the prostitutes walking, and you're like, okay. I mean, where are we? There's anywhere around here. mean, I know we got room on the bus for these folks, but what are we doing here? And there's a stoplight. Why are we stopping at it? I don't care if it's red. Keep going. I mean, I felt like I was in like a Mobb Deep video or Nas. I'm like, what is going on here? Which one of these things doesn't belong? Me, this bus. what are we doing? So that you take that wrong turn, and AC is pretty much just a wrong turn of life. But Chicago's another one. I don't want to end up. I know on the South Side, people have said, if you go to a Sox game, make sure it's during the fucking day. You don't want to be taking those trains at night because it's not exactly a good situation. So don't have to worry too much about that with the Cubs and the North Side. Not a ton, but still, in these unpredictable times, unsettled times, and here in Chicago, I worry about everything because I'm like, people are dumb. You see it every day, so it's like. But you think you stay together, the old buddy system. You got a few people. Don't be like fucking stupid Ed and walking through parking ramps alone. You gotta fucking get some team members with you. Come on, Ed. That jog you took that could have been avoided. So yeah, I think we all look forward to it. And again, just branching out to community-wise, just again we know faces, but actually interacting with other collectors and friends and whatnot. If there's one thing I try to do well, it's try to bring people together of different ilks. Doesn't always have to be the same 3-4 people. I try to grab a handful here, grab a handful there. That's what she said, and make people come together. I mean, bring people together.
So, yeah, that's going to be the fun of National, getting to catch up with people. And crazy thing, I'll get to meet Aaron Davis face to face for the first time. Yeah, him and I talk 2 to 3 times a day. Every day. As a matter of fact, he's the one that's, we've been messaging each other kind of through the podcast. We're literally like brothers, but we've never met.
He's messaging.
Isn't it crazy though? And when you tell somebody, who's on the phone? Oh yeah, this is my buddy so and so, and they're like, oh, yeah, when are y'all gonna meet up? I don't know, maybe next year. What do you mean next year? Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to explain to people.
You can't.
How all this kind of works, and going to another city and rooming with people that you've never met face to face. It's like people can't. No, they can't grasp it or understand.
Try to explain it to your 70-year-old mother. When you're taking your daughter with 3 men you've never met before. And she goes, oh my goodness, I can't believe you're taking her. Well, how could you trust these people? Because I do, Ma. Yeah, because I do.
You try to explain it to anybody. My internet friends, it's like, you're going to stay with people on the internet? You've never met. Well, again, it's go to a concert or something. It's like, well, I'll stay you 20 rows over you and 50 rows. Same thing. If you want to think about it in that generality, it's like, no, I've talked to these guys forever. It's not like we just like plucked their names out of a fucking Tumblr and said, I guess I got this one. Ooh, Mike baseball. Yeah. I can't wait to stay with him. So again, it's you try to explain it. I've given up. It's like, I'm gonna go with my card friends. Where do you know them from? I'm going with my card friends, who are my good friends. So don't worry about it. If I get killed, I'm in Chicago. So again, I'll be a number, but
yeah. My wife said that. My wife says we're all frat brothers, card frat brothers. She said because when we're all together, that's what we act like.
Yeah.
Well, That's a fair assessment. Can't argue against that one.
Yeah.
No, you get to fun. Not finally. It's the one time, maybe twice a year, you get to sort of act like a teenager and just goof around and have dumb fun. Just chill out, and as Steve has been known to say, cut it up. It's like we're in the 40s, listen to some Bing Crosby, cut it up.
Yeah, let's not go that far.
We will in Chicago. There'll be a dance off. I'll challenge anybody to a dance off.
You win. I concede.
I said anyone wants to step up. Price is right. Come on down.
All right, Dave. Wrap us up, man.
So, thank you to Mike jumping on earlier. Thank you to Xavier coming on, tarnishing his reputation.
Sure.
Thank you to Brad, making sure those early votes got in, and now that's going to drop down and end up like 6th place again.
Yep.
Everybody that commented, everybody that jumped over from Snoop's video, popped in for a while, chatted. Again, hope you come back. Again, it's lighthearted, it's fun. We have some deeper discussions. Doesn't have to be life deep, but it also can be card deep. Just a lot of fun. A lot of fun getting to talk, listening. YouTube Hall of Fame, vote for it. If you want to be part of the community, vote. Just vote. You don't need to sit there and take all day to think of these people, and then just pick out a handful of names. And even if they're not on for 3 years, it doesn't matter. Whoever, vote for whoever. Jam, Sports Card Investor, Ziggy No, vote for them all. Come on down. Come on, gang. Group hug. So, again, thank you guys. I don't know. Send money, Doge, PayPal, well-concealed cash. Gift cards. We're going to start taking more gift cards. So if you see an email from us because you're behind in your Patreon payments, please send those gift cards right away. Just need the code. Don't need the actual physical gift card. So, for Brad, for Snoop, for Vinny, for Steve, I'm Dave. It's been the Insert Revolution podcast. Remember, collecting cards, it's an absolutely wonderful hobby. The friendships you forge during that journey, that's what it's really about. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.